yes and no. Like, I agree that we should have gone in. Should we have stayed there as long as we did? No. Because I think that the goals that they had of like like changing it and making it more like westernized and all that stuff, like clearly it didn't work. It wasn't going to work. So there was no point in being there for as long as we were.
Are you talking about Afghanistan now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Trump's plan to pull out.
It was Trump's plan, but the way it was executed was under Biden, correct?
Yeah, but that you understand that that's because of the fact that Trump set it up in that way?
He might have set it up that way, but
Yeah. So if he thought Biden was going to botch it, why didn't he do it himself?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know his reasoning behind that. To be honest with you, I mean,
Interesting.
I'm like, I don't know the exact reason why, right? Like, I haven't asked him. I haven't sat down and talked to him and said, "Hey, why didn't you do it?"
Of course. I mean, but you understand the point that I'm making is that, like, he could have easily done that if he felt like there was going to be a problem with Biden pulling out. And also, I've never heard a single person say what Biden could have done differently that would have prevented those lives from being lost. And there were 65 service members that died in conflict under the Trump administration, and 16 have died. Right, or sorry, 13 have died since the start of a war with Iran. It is 16 under the Biden-Harris administration in conflict.
Okay. I mean that's fair. Like I said, I don't support any service member dying, right?
But
no
Trump's war has led to more
service
service members dying. 13 service members have died since Trump started this war with Iran.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I already said I don't agree with it. I think that the way that it shouldn't have happened at all, but I would prefer airstrikes over boots on the ground any day. And not because I'm afraid to go. Like, if they tell me to go, I'm going, right? But
fireworks. Thank you. Okay, so why wouldn't you have draw a line at a war starting in the first place? Why are airstrikes and U.S. service members dying through that context justified, right, in order for you to continue supporting him, but boots on the ground is too far?
Well, again, I know you're going to make the argument that the reason that they have the uranium is because he pulled out of the agreement, or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That might be true. I don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't looked into that. But
if they claim boots on the ground was necessary in order to be able to get the enriched uranium, would you argue that we should do that?
No, I would not be in support of that.
Okay, so then why are you in support of this war?
I'm not in support of the war. I told you that. I don't agree with the war at all.
Sorry,
I don't think it should have happened in the first place.
You don't agree with the war, but why don't you disagree with the war enough that you would be at a point where you'd stop supporting Trump and rather vote for Harris? And the same notion that, right, you would say that you'd vote for Harris over Trump if Trump put boots on the ground in Iran.
I mean, I could technically say that technically I can't say it, but I would say that the war in the first place might be a reason for me to not, even though he can't run again, vote for him again. But I would not choose to vote for Harris over him. Maybe a different, like, Democratic candidate, possibly.
Okay. So, like, if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, you wouldn't vote?
I probably would not vote.
All right. Okay. For sure. Well, I'm glad to hear that. You can keep watching these lives in the future. Maybe I'll get to pull you over more towards the Democrats, but that's kind of the goal of the live, is to get you to a point where you don't support Trump anymore. But yeah, I appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. Let's go on to the next individual. Omega, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's very true. That is absolutely very true. Let's go on to the next individual here quick. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates, everybody. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. All right, let's get this next person up here. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Please only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Alrighty, let's go to the next individual, everybody. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, as always.
Yo, Parker, I low-key think you're a faggot.
You're disgusting. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 29.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
If the election was held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
I will vote for Trump again.
Okay, and what's your birth year?
1996, November 16th.
Okay, and you said you're how old?
29.
Okay, and why do you support Donald Trump?
I mean, I think he was the lesser of two evils. Granted, before all the shit came out about him, um, how do I put it? I would agree more with his economical policies, and I would agree more with the the views that the Republican Party stands for.
Okay, and so, like, what economic policies of his do you like?
Truthfully, trickle down economics. It's really I see the point in it. I just don't. It doesn't. It's not always the best, but I do see where tax cuts to the rich can eventually bring more money into the economy.
It doesn't. Historically speaking, it actually hasn't led to better conditions. It's led to wages not increasing with productivity, when historically speaking, it actually did prior to the implementation of trickle down econ. Actually, the top marginal tax rates being higher creates a greater incentive for a business owner to reinvest into their company or to pass money down to their employees, because it would increase the likelihood in which it would be the profit maximizing condition.
Okay, good point. Good point. Look, I'm not some expert. I just that's just my view on it. I thought it was the lesser of two evils at the time, and you know, if I had to do it again, I would. If there was a different candidate, Republican, I would vote Republican. Just personal opinion.
Yeah, but like, what specifically about Republican economic policy do you like? Because everything that okay, well, I mean, they just left. I'm going to go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Alrighty. Let's go on to the next person. Alrighty, only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, hi.
Do you support
I'm
Trump?
46. Yes, I do.
Okay, if the election were held today, Harris
Um,
versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Um, so I'm just gonna give you my personal opinion and my based on my experience. So I'm a retired Air Force, and so during my service, I saw many presidents come through. Obviously, um, so between Obama and then Trump, I saw a big change when it came to when Obama was in the presidency. We had a lot of issues in the military. They cut down our budget. They cut down our personnel. They made us do a lot of procedure changes that were not improving. They were actually getting worse. So that's my view on Obama. Then it switched to Trump. And that's when I started supporting him because the military bloomed during his term, his first term. We got more people, we got more money. A lot of the procedures, a lot of the stuff changed in the military during Trump. I actually have to be double sided on this because I'm also Mexican, and I know all my Hispanic people support Democrats, obviously, or somebody else, not Trump. But I always debate this because of my experience that I, you know, gained through what I saw in the government. I guess, fields because a lot of people put their opinions out there, but they actually haven't been to war. I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to Oman. I was stationed all over the place, and um, and I was boots and ground. So a lot of people don't know what's actually happening based on what their opinion and what their calls. So, but yeah, so that's my point of view. That's why I support him because I've seen a lot of good things that it involves.
Okay. It seems like maybe they cut out there at the end. You said people have a lot of opinions, but they haven't been to war. That would include Trump, right? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, do you hear me?
Oh yes, sorry. I was getting a call.
Oh, yeah, you're good. Don't worry. So you said people have opinions, but they haven't been to war. Do you agree that's applicable to Trump because he dodged the draft three times?
Um, the way I see Trump, as a matter of fact, it's not really who I support. I don't support him as a person, but I do support the government that it's behind him. So that's one very important point of view for myself, not to focus on the person itself. Um, he is doing his job. The presidency, the president of the United States, it is a job. If you work for somebody, you have to follow their, procedures. You have to pretty much do what you're told, and that's any job. I know he's the president, but there's a lot of people behind him as well. And same thing with the Democrats.
Okay. So I guess the broader points that I would make is that I don't know specifically what you'd say under Obama they cut because actually there were increases in military size under the Obama administration as well. I also don't know what procedure changes you're referencing. Obviously, you would know more because you involved yourself with it. I can't speak to that because I wasn't in the military. I have no clue myself. But in terms of the overall policy that the Trump administration has imposed, I think his policy in relation to the military has been significantly worse. It's led to us having to go to war, whereas otherwise we wouldn't have gone to war under the Democrats' administration. Kamala Harris says that she opposes the war, says that she wouldn't have gone to this war in the first place, and although that she thinks that Iran is a threat, right, doesn't believe that this war is the best to be able to achieve the objectives that we have here for America. Similar to what Obama did, right, that's something that the Democrats would have advocated for, the JCPOA. That kept us below 3.6% or 3.7% enrichment in terms of uranium and had unprecedented levels of surveillance over their nuclear enrichment facilities. So we actually met more objectives under the JCPOA than we've met through this war in the very first place. So I'd argue through foreign policy, not only just considering that, but also Donald Trump's destroying our relationships with our allies, threatening to annex Greenland and annex and take over Canada, right? All of these things have destabilized our relations all around the world. Inevitably will disenfranchise veterans as well, such as like through the context of Trump cutting the employees specifically in which work for the VA. So that reduces the level of care that can be applied in the context of the VA. So it seems like what they're allocating more of the funds to is military operations around the world, which inevitably will harm military members because more of them will die. More of them will be sent out to conflict. But where it's not even like we're achieving more objectives, right? It's literally just for the benefit of defense contractors and oil companies, right? And not for the average American and not for the soldiers in the military even as well.
Yes, I do agree in that. But remember, this world, it's all business. So that's where politics come in place. Everybody does whatever for their own benefit. So, but yeah, I just wanted to jump in to just give out my opinion. And, I think when it comes to politics, I believe it's not a right or wrong. It's just how, bottom line, I think yes, politics are important because it affects the way we live. But as long as you're a good person, you don't hurt anybody, and you're a good citizen, hey, you're covered both ways.
Well, the reality is that these ideological beliefs inevitably do harm people. So that is real world harm that I think that we see. So I do think that there with some things when it comes to politics, there is a right or a wrong. There absolutely is, like with certain things in terms of politics because
Yeah,
of
but
the
there's
impact that it has
sometimes
on
we
people.
can't control that because even though we go out to vote, at the end of the day, there's a lot of higher ups making the real
Yeah,
decisions.
but we're voting
So
in those higher ups. So we vote in Trump. Trump perpetuates war, right? We should be voting against people like that. We should not be supporting people like that perpetuate and cause war. And it's not even for a more objective. It's not even like they striked us and we're responding. In that context, all of us would support the war. Like, of course we support defending our country. But this isn't defending our country. This is offensive. This is where we've started the war. And it's not specifically in the interest of the average American. I think the average American is over these forever wars in the Middle East that have destabilized the Middle East, that have destroyed our reputation all around the world, have costed trillions of dollars, and we want that money spent here at home. We want that spent on our access to healthcare. We want that spent on our access to education. We want that spent on access to childcare. That's what we need it spent on, and that's where we should be investing that money. All the money that we're spending on bombs or bombing up these schools all around the world, that should be invested in schools for our children here in this country. And we are sick of doing that because that is not in the interest of the average American, but yet again in the interest of the very rich corporations. And you could say everyone does this because the world's a business, but that doesn't mean that we should continue to perpetuate that cycle when we have the ability to vote and advocate for accountability against this.
But you know what? Let's say I do vote for Harris. Some of these problems that we're having right now are not going to change.
That's true, but it'll be better than what it is right now under
We
Trump.
actually don't know because
We do know. I can tell you how.
when we voted Democrat before, a lot of things were still really bad. So, but yeah, I mean, it's personal opinion. Once again, I'm not here to debate your points of views and who's wrong or right. I'm just here to say that there's a lot of stuff going on back in politics that we don't understand, we don't see, and the government hides a lot of stuff from us. So, but it's good. I'm gonna follow you. I do like what you're doing, and we need more people like you to have that mindset of getting points of views. So I appreciate it. I'm already retired. I'm more out of this world than you. So I'm just here to see what your guys' opinions and you know. But yeah, thank you for putting me up. And once again, just be good citizen. Good citizen.
Okay.
Have a good day, yo.
Alrighty. Well, I'm just going to go to the next person. I would say that Democrats definitely make it better off. Like, we wouldn't have gone to this war if Kamala Harris were in office. We definitely would have had lower inflation and better economic conditions because Donald Trump's tariffs have led to inflationary pressure. And actually, the Federal Reserve put out an analysis and a report saying that we'd actually be below pre-pandemic levels of inflation if Trump never imposed the tariffs. So we'd be in better conditions economically speaking, in terms of foreign policy, right, and countless others. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Anna, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I know, it's actually insane. I don't know why people do that. People spend so much more time trying to troll me than they actually waste in terms of my time. It's actually kind of sad if you think about it. Serena, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello?
Yeah, how old are you?
18.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
And what's your birth year?
What was that?
What's your birth year?
2008.
In what month?
April.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
I think he's a better leader for our country.
Okay. What makes you think that?
Just the stuff he does.
Such as?
I feel like across the world, he's more viewed as like a threat compared to Kamala Harris, and I feel
Kamala?
like, yeah,
And why?
I just feel like he has more respect across the world.
But why?
I couldn't tell you exactly why. I just feel like he has more respect across the world than Kamala does.
You just trust me, bro?
What?
Just trust me, bro?
Yeah.
He has more respect on the road. Trust me, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a Pew Research study I can reference to you, data I can reference to you from Pew Research that indicates that actually Kamala Harris was more respected on a world stage in terms of what she was going to do that was going to yield the better outcome for international affairs comparative to Trump.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
From
Pew
what
Research.
countries?
There was an 18-country median for Harris and 24-country median for Trump. So this is amongst a bunch of our allies.
All right.
So that actually means that Trump is respected less.
All right.
Do you want to adjust that at all, or no?
No.
Okay. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. Phoenix, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Give me some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you. Things that are better for most rather than better for me personally. Yeah, I think that you're not. I think that just a lot of people aren't informed. I do think that a lot of people will if they had the right information, but there's a lot of people that don't with the right information. So that holds it back as well. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria in the screen. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Let's try to get to 2,000 likes. If you're on TikTok, tab that screen. It'll help get it out to more people. As always, let's go on to the next individual, everybody. If you want to support me, as always, again, Venmo, PayPal, Linktree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. If you want to debate, make sure to send a guest request if you are 18, above the age of 18, and you're a Trump supporter. How old are you?
Yo, I'm 19 years old.
Do you support Trump?
Not anymore, but wait, can you unblock?
Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria in the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm under the age of 18, but I have.
Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria in the screen. We are just looking for some debates. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. Do you support Trump? Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello?
Oh, I think they got there a little bit late. Let's go on the next individual. All right, let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 16, but I do have a question.
18 plus, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. I honestly don't know why people send a guest request if they don't meet that criteria. Just wasting your own time. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hi, I'm Caden, and I'm 19.
And do you support Trump?
Yes.
Election out today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Today?
Yeah.
I'd vote for Trump. I believe everything I voted for and more has come true.
Really? Did you vote for no new wars?
Well, yes, but seeing that the
Really?
criteria changed where we believe Iran does have a nuclear program going on. I don't.
But that's
believe
because
that
Trump pulled out of the JCPOA, and that existed last time Trump left office.
Okay, you know, these guys flew two. What makes you think that they would hold up to that?
Hold up to the JCPOA, we had unprecedented levels of surveillance over their nuclear enrichment facilities.
Okay, so what makes you think that there's classified in.
You just cut out. What'd you say? Okay. Hello? Did he just leave?
With that surveillance.
You just cut out. Hello? You there?
Hello, sorry, my stupid phone connected to my truck.
Okay, are you going to drive? Are you going to drive, Caden?
No, I was just sitting.
Oh, okay, that's
not
totally
driving.
fine. Alrighty. So then what were you saying?
What makes you think we didn't find something in that surveillance program that could make this whole thing come true?
What made you think that we didn't find something in what? Repeat that?
What makes you... So you said we had unprecedented amount of surveillance in their program, right?
Yeah.
What makes you think we didn't find something during that surveillance that they can't release that's classified?
That hasn't been reported on, and if it was true, they wouldn't be classified, and they would be able to release that information.
So okay. But anyways, I'll move on from that topic. I believe for what I voted for, deportations going on in the country, I 100% support
What benefit
that.
does that provide to our society?
It keeps drug dealers, people bringing in drugs.
I have a question. By the way, you can't say any drug name in specific, just letting you know. You have to say like M drug, F drug, or whatever. You can't say it, just letting you know. Secondly, if Trump pardoned a convicted drug trafficker, would you still support him?
Depends on the circumstances.
Yeah, if they trafficked over 400 tons of sea drug to our country and they were convicted of it, would you still support him if he pardoned them?
I'm not versed on the information, but I would have to look into it more.
So you might still support him?
Depending on the situation.
So if I were to tell you that given these circumstances, these specific circumstances, I don't know what other depending matters, would you still support him?
Well,
what does it depend on, actually? Just answer that question.
Honestly, I don't know. Could you tell me who he pardoned?
Yeah, the ex-president of Honduras that trafficked over 400 tons of sea drug to our country and was convicted of it.
Okay, I'd have to do more research into that because I don't know about that, but I would be disappointed, but I'd still support
of course
the policies in place.
Okay, so then what is the reason why you think that his specific mass deportation policy is beneficial to the average American, or can you name one way in which it's materially benefited us?
Yeah, I will actually give you an example that happened the other day to me. I had a guy hit me, who didn't speak English, ran a stop sign, had no driver's license, and didn't have insurance, and now I've been dealing with that whole thing. If that guy never came in or was deported, my stuff wouldn't have been damaged, and my property wouldn't have got messed up.
So this happened to you under the Trump administration, right?
Yeah, this happened under the Trump administration.
So then Trump didn't prevent it, right?
No. There's also how many people that cross the borders?
Wait, but Trump didn't prevent it. You said you support Trump and his policies because it would prevent this from happening. But Trump's in office. He's implemented his policies, and it happened under his administration. So clearly, he didn't prevent it.
But okay. I didn't say he prevented. I was just giving an example on why.
Yeah, but like you just said, his policies. You support his policies because it would prevent this, and I just told you. Well, it happened under his administration, therefore he didn't prevent it. And then it seems like you don't have any response to that.
Well, okay, so it's probably not happened to other people. I don't know the statistics on it, but...
Did you know that undocumented immigrants are multiple times less likely to commit violent crime, drug crime, property crime in the country compared to natural born U.S. citizens? Plus, if you gave a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime, it would make the legal process go... and we invested in the legal process, making that go quicker. That would decrease the likelihood that individuals who are undocumented would not have a license or insurance. It would increase the likelihood that they do have insurance.
I also don't believe that people that are over that come in illegally should necessarily get a path to citizenship once they're here. I believe they should have came legally before they came illegally.
I understand, but what you're not understanding is that this is the best way to ensure the most amount of people are vetted in the country as possible. Otherwise, people who are undocumented in the country have the incentive to not identify themselves to authorities and to further hide in the shadows, specifically, which is going to create conditions that are worse for them. And it's also going to ensure that less people who are in the country already are vetted.
Well, they shouldn't come into the country. They should do it the right way.
Do you think anyone who violates the law we should hold accountable in every single circumstance?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, if someone violates the law, we should hold them accountable in every single circumstance, right?
If they did it knowingly, yes.
Yeah, if they violated the law, right? That means that they should be. Wait, when you do so, it doesn't matter whether or not you know you committed a crime. You still can be held accountable for it.
Well, no, if you for example, if there's if you forget to scan something in your buggy at Walmart or something and you walk out, I don't believe you should get arrested.
That's not a crime. You're not going to get arrested for that.
Well,
If you accidentally did that and you gave it back to them, you're not going to get arrested for that.
But you said, but that's still a crime that's being committed.
No,
Unknowingly. Yeah,
no.
it is.
Let me give you an example, right? Specifically, when we're talking about a crime that's committed, it's something that someone is convicted of, like convicted of a crime. Like if someone's convicted of a crime, should they always be held accountable for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Trump was convicted of 34 felonies, and he wasn't put in prison because you guys voted for him. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but I also believe that those charges, from my information, they added a felony. It's a paperwork violation. Like
they didn't
something
add a
that's-
felony. He committed felonies, and
No,
it's not just a paperwork violation. They falsified business records with the explicit reason of hiding the hush money payment that he made to Stormy Daniels, so that it wouldn't affect his election prospects.
Honestly, that whole situation is stupid. I don't realize.
Okay,
why
so now a violation of the law doesn't mean we should hold them
No,
accountable.
I agree that he got convicted for violating the law. I don't believe, okay, some people believe you shouldn't be in jail for marijuana.
Oh, well, I got to kick you now. I literally told you earlier you can't say that. I literally told you earlier you can't do that. I got to go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We're just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Again, everyone, we are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 21.
Do you support Trump?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for? Okay. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
Kiss me.
Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. We're about an hour and a half into the stream, everybody, meaning we have about another 2.5 hours left on the stream, just letting everyone know. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
Howdy, I'm 18.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Election held today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. And what's your birth year?
2007, August 31st.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
I support him, recently because, not recently, but in this term, he passed an executive order that allowed money to go into cancer research.
You know, he cut funding for cancer research, right? I think you're trolling.
No, look it up. It's an executive order for AI cancer research. Look it up on his page.
Yeah, I know specifically the one you're referencing that was going to exist either way. That was one that isn't specific to Trump. Now, in terms of cancer research as a whole, he's already cut cancer research.
Okay. Well, I was unaware of that.
And this isn't research, this is detection.
Okay.
So it's just using AI to detect.
Wouldn't that be
that's something that exists
research?
within policies already on a local level.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay, so then why do you support Trump?
Because of his. I'm trying to think. That was my main thing because I've had family members die of cancer. When I heard that plucked a heartstring, I guess. But
yeah, he's cut funding for cancer research. You should look that one up.
Okay.
Also, he is not expanded access to healthcare. He's cut people off of Medicaid, which is going to lead to people who are cancer not having access to the services that they need.
Mm-hmm. Which is, honestly, it's horrible.
Okay, alrighty. So then you don't support Trump?
Not really.
Okay, alright. Appreciate you coming up.
Have a nice.
Let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Let's go on to the next individual real quick. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 23.
And do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
I would vote for Trump.
And what's your birth year?
I was born in 2002.
In what month?
March 21st.
You'd be 24. 2002, March is 24. Want to know how I know that? Because I'm April 2002. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, thank you for the $20. Oh shit, Erica, thank you. Hey, Jessica, thank you for the $50. Thank you so fucking much. Hey, Erica, thank you for the fucking $10. I mean, my god damn. Y'all are on tonight. Hey, Jessica, thank you for the $100. I mean, you outdid yourself tonight. I can't. I mean, I can't. Y'all gotta stop sending me money. I mean, it's something else.
Jealous much?
What? They're sending me money, bro. How am I jealous?
You didn't get anything. You're just jealous, and you're mad that I'm getting money.
What are you talking?
Why are you so jealous, bro?
Constantly. I'm getting money off your live.
Hang lights. No, you're not.
No, as long as I stick. Oh, Sarah, thank you for the fucking $40.
You didn't get anything.
What are you talking? I just got $40.
You're making up donations because you're jealous, bro. I know that you've got imaginary friends because no one wants to be around you, especially women, specifically because no women would go around you at all.
Melissa, thank you for the $20. You go, girl. You go.
He's making up all of these imaginary women because no woman would go anywhere around him.
These are all real donations. Do not
fake donations, imaginary.
Okay, whatever you say.
Do you want to actually debate me? Because it sounds like you're just jealous and angry.
Erica, thank you so much for the $5.
You see how he won't even engage?
Erica, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. Y'all are really man. I'm happy tonight. I just made more money in 20 seconds than how much do you make all night?
I haven't made anything.
I know. I know, man. I know it's tough out here, but look, your friends.
Michelle, thank you so much for the galaxy. Thank you very much, Michelle.
There you go. Michelle just sent you one.
Thank you for that mustache. Thank you, Hybrid.
Tiffany, thank you for the $20. Thank you.
Dude, this guy's so mad that instead of actually debating me, he just comes up to my live to do this. Candles, thank you for the corgi.
Tiffany,
Omega, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. From Erica, thank you very much. Thank you for that mustache as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, just real, do you want to actually debate me, or do you just want to come up on my platform and crash out and melt down because people have been sending me donations?
Oh, yeah, nobody's crashing out. I'm just collecting money from your live. Yeah, you can hit me whenever you want, but yeah, I'm making...
I can just mute you and then just have you sit up here and listen the whole time because all you're going to do is come up here and do this. Then I won't debate you. And I'll just have you sit up here and you can listen to people actually send me money. Like Maria, thank you so much for the hand hearts. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Give some W's for Maria in the comment section right now. Thank you very much. Michael, thank you so much for the gem gun. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Give some W's for Michael in the comment section right now. Thank you very much, Michael. I appreciate it. Thank you. Gidget, thank you so much. Really appreciate the I love TikTok live. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Give some W's for them in the comment section as well. Michelle, thank you so much. Really appreciate the hand arts. Thank you very much. Melinda, thank you so much for the sheep. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So I bet you're enjoying that. I bet you're enjoying that from the sidelines. And we'll bring up another person while you do that. While you crash out. Tracy, thank you so much for the hand art. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I am 19.
Do you support Trump?
Thank you for $20.
I do.
If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Probably Trump.
Push the sheep. And what's your birth year?
August 14th, 2006.
For the $20.
2006, August. Okay. And do you have a little bit of feedback? Is there a way you can fix that real quick?
Fix what?
You have feedback. You have a little bit of feedback.
So I support Trump because of his immigration policies.
Hey, did you hear me?
Also,
you have a little bit of feedback, sir.
Melissa.
I don't follow.
Feedback, like I can hear myself.
Melissa,
yeah, I
thank
hear
you.
them.
Luby, thank you so much for the super live star. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Melissa,
And
thank you
Jamie,
for
thank you so
$20.
much. I really appreciate the $20. Thank you very much, Jamie. I really appreciate it. For oh my god, he's pretending to be you, Parker. I'm dying laughing. Yeah, I know. He's trying his
Jamie,
hardest.
thank you for
Candace, thank you so much for the galaxy. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well as M, thank you for the gamer cat. Thank you very much. Dude, he's still crashing out. It's actually hilarious.
What's that guy's problem?
I don't know. You still have your feedback, bro. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go on to the next person. I apologize. Let's get this next person up here. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates.
Hey,
Jay Clark, thank you so much. I
$10.
appreciate the galaxy.
Hey,
Thank you very much, Jay Clark. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I don't even remember going into your room when I heard it.
Okay. Janny, thank you so much. I appreciate the
Melissa,
glowing jellyfish. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Monovan, thank you for the $14. Thank you very much on PayPal. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, actually, can you thank all the donors? Just real?
Hey, I want to thank all the donors.
Let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed here on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen.
$100?
Hey, Just Real, thank you so much for being a good boy. Thank you so much for being a good boy, by the way. I appreciate it. Mama K, thank you so much for the hand hearts. Thank you very
My
much.
mom played that last night too. Yeah.
That was so cringe. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Oh, you put him to sleep. What the hell, Just Real? Thank you for the money gun. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, John. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen.
Just
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Life, fucking cringe. I'm 49.
And do you support Trump?
You know, I do, and I'm having an existential crisis in regards to that because a lot of the people that I know here in New York are, left leaning, and I'm a centrist, I would say, but the thing with Israel, as a Jewish guy, like it's messing with me a little bit, having a lot of trouble processing it, and I wanted to kind of see wanted to kind of jostle with you back and forth about it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, what would be the reason why you still support Donald Trump? Is it because of his support for Israel?
He wants to jostle with
as a Jew. Like, I mean, my opinion of our government is that it's completely crooked. I mean, I think that there's, So I mean, like, I don't have, but I do have this issue with Israel and Iran now, and I just don't know. I'm having an issue of landing where I can to be fair, but there's a lot of anti-Semitism going around, so I don't know what the right answer is.
Yeah, I think the right answer is that we should stop supporting the state of Israel constantly engaging in forever wars. By the way, you have a bit of feedback, just letting you know. So I'm gonna mute you real quick, just letting you know while I speak, and then you just unmute yourself whenever you're done. So yeah, I think that we should stand is against anti-Semitism and also against the state of Israel's actions because they've constantly engaged us in foreign wars, not for the benefit of the average American, but for their own interests. And I think it's preferable specifically to instead argue that we shouldn't be supporting them and that we should be focusing on all of that money here on home, on like education, access to things, and people for people in need. And that can also be used to help support people specifically who are Jewish and protect them from anti-Jewish hate, right? I think that's incredibly important here domestically. So combating anti-Semitism is something that you can do while simultaneously criticizing the actions of the Israeli government.
Yeah, like so that's like a really, fair point of view. This is where I have a problem with is the media. There's literally whole channels and outlets and influencers that are dedicated to propaganda. And it starts to be confusing because they're very convincing. Okay, white phosphorus, Hezbollah, but they're really citizens. You hear that coming out of like Rachel Maddow's voice, and you're thinking, okay, that sounds legitimate. And then you listen to someone else who makes an argument that no, that's not happening. That's propaganda. And yeah, they're building in Gaza, but they're building so they can keep an eye out
I mean, they
Iran
were
with
using
the
white
funding.
phosphorus gas. That's a fact. Also, they have been starving civilians. That's a fact as well. Like they purposefully prevented aid from going in, food from going into Gaza. So,
Right.
like, I mean, like they're actively engaging in war crimes. They also almost completely destroyed the entirety of Gaza, right? Like, if you're trying to go after Hamas, there would be more targeted strikes. Like, it doesn't look like, based on all the videos that we've seen of Gaza, that they were engaging in targeted strikes. It seems like they were targeting civilian infrastructure to destroy it, to make worse off conditions, to then cause Palestinians to leave the area. Like, that's obviously what it seems like. And to me, that's ethnic cleansing. So they're murdering Gazan civilians with the express purpose of ethnically cleansing them from the area. To me, that meets under the criteria of genocidal intent, because they're clearly trying to expel the Palestinian people from this particular area of land.
Right, which they've been wanting to do for a long time, and a two-state solution was something that I really felt pretty strongly about. Which, of course, if you're Israeli pro completely, that's not something that's on the table. And I've seen a lot of division come up, in the Jewish community. And of course, you have such low information people here, and low information people in the States, that they think Zionists are Jews and everyone in Israel is a Jew, and that's not true.
Yeah. Zionism is not the same as being Jewish. I think that's actually a huge issue when people think that anti-Zionism is the same thing as anti-Semitism. Like, I think that's a very big problem. So I think that there needs to be a distinction, obviously, for everyone, because not every single person who's Jewish is Zionist. And not every Zionist is Jewish, right? Actually, most Zionists are not Jewish.
Right, exactly. And, tell that to a guy on the street who's like 19 and angry and parroting his dad, which is like, unfortunately, I watch, You're Alive and Dean when I'm on TikTok, and I noticed that you have a very slim amount of people that are MAGA that are they're articulate, but they're so young. They were like 14 when Trump got elected the first time. And of course they have a voice, but it's like, really, dude? Like, obviously you're, regurgitating what you hear in your house. Like, it's not like an opinion that I feel is it's something that they formed from a life experience.
Yeah, so actually, one thing I have to say for you, that's not specific just to age. That's true across all the different spectrums of age. It might be disproportionately true for younger people, but it's also true for people who are older. And I don't think that people who are older are like not subject to this problem at all. So I do think that like this is going to be a problem that exists across the board, and I don't think it can just be explained by age. And I also do think that we're going to see that prevalent when I'm debating people. I mean, the same thing would be true if you debate people who are liberal. Like, if you typically debate like the average person who's liberal, they're not going to have the same sort of ability to debate as I am, right? Because of how much I just typically engage with this more compared to the average liberal. So obviously, right, this is specifically meant to get people involved in politics more, get people to look things up, reduce the level of misinformation, and it's an active way to get every single individual involved in that process in a more direct manner that's more hands-on, that can be easier for people to learn in specific contexts comparative to other ways of people learning.
Yeah, no, totally. And you're right. I should have probably prefaced it by saying that I think it does definitely span across the whole spectrum. I mean, it's a lot of younger people because they're on TikTok all day. But yeah, I've heard some older guys do it too. And I got to say, like, my issue with Kamala and Trump was Kamala, for a lot of reasons, I just did not like when she ran on her own. I felt cheated, honestly, when they nominated her, though it did revitalize the party. And I probably should have banned, this time around, like, I don't know. I knew what was going to happen, and I thought maybe it was going to be so bad that we could, kind of burn it down and build it back up again. But I see now that, these politicians have no fucking backbone, man. And they're just grifting and they're stealing. And I mean, it's definitely more all Republican, pretty much. But
I see no benefit in burning down aspects that would be easier to build up if we just kept them in the first place. Like, what's easier? You disagree with how the bathroom is structured. Are you going to completely bulldoze the whole house and start from scratch? Or are you just going to renovate that bathroom?
Right, cut off thy nose. Yeah, totally.
You want to renovate the bathroom. You don't want to bulldoze the whole house. So I do think that you're getting rid of fundamental structures that you're going to have to build back anyway, right? Things that you don't have to go after. if you want to burn down the whole system. So what do you want to do? You want to reform the system to make it better? Who does that to a greater extent? Well, obviously the Democrats do. Obviously Harris did, comparative to Trump. And I'm not saying Democrats are perfect. I'm not saying Harris is perfect, but I am saying that she's preferable to Trump and that we'd be in a better condition if she were in office compared to Trump being in office. For example, the Federal Reserve report came out recently saying that inflation would be below pre-pandemic levels if Donald Trump never imposed tariffs in the first place, which would have happened if Harris were in office. We wouldn't have gone to war with Iran, which would have happened if Harris were in office, which also would have led to us not having higher gas prices, right? So basically every metric of the economy is worse off since Trump got in office because of Trump. So it seems like we'd be in a better condition if Harris were in office. So why don't you support Harris instead?
Well, so, my feeling was that I don't, I honestly, like, I feel like I've probably made a grave error. And at this point, like, I'm trying to fight my battles and kind of get in where I fit in, like the Israel thing, and of course, Iran and our troops going over there and our gas being higher and, kind of looking at candidates in the midterms to see which ones are going to, concentrate on obviously assisting to get out of this conflict and more importantly, bringing resources back here. I mean, I think they're spending $1 billion a day or somewhere around that amount. They've exhausted 2 years of Tomahawk missiles. I mean, fucking Pete Hegseth, like, I don't support the cabinet, like Steve Miller, like Joseph Goebbels, like totally reborn. I really don't like appreciate what they've done to what I think now is a Republican Party that, quite frankly, I don't think they might disappear forever. That's how dark the path is. I really don't see one. I just don't, And for that reason, like I'm a little bit sad and I don't know. It's tough.
Okay.
To find
So I guess my question would then be is, if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for, or would you choose not to vote?
I would definitely vote. If I had to vote today based on everything, like growing up in New York City, sorry, I'll answer this question, I promise, in 2 seconds. Growing up in New York City, I always knew what Trump was. Unfortunately, most of the country and like his last, like the 29% of people that are fanatics and, complete cult members, they think of Trump as the apprentice, which is not Trump. And for that reason, if I had to vote today, it would be for Kamala. And I'd say that because she was my least favorite candidate by far. I do not like prosecutors. I think there's a special place in hell for them. Our judicial system is completely broken. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with you on that, but from the Clinton crime bill, to both bipartisan warehousing of human beings, mostly marginalized communities. And that's what Harris did. I know she did some good as a DA. I looked into it pretty deeply. But she also put young guys in prison for fucking football numbers. I mean, under the jail.
So I wouldn't blame all prosecutors or say that all prosecutors are going to hell, because I disagree with how the criminal justice system has led to the marginalization of people. Often I think the problem comes from not just like from the justice system, but also from the over-policing of these particular areas. So people going into these areas in the first place tend to be of marginalized communities because of the policing aspect of it as well. So there are both things that fundamentally go into this, but it's also not demonstrating of every single person who's a prosecutor or every single person who's a lawyer. You can do good work within the system, even though the overall system has historically, and still to this day, does lead to the marginalization of people. The goal is to cause these systems to reduce the level of marginalization over time. That's what we want to happen. We don't want that marginalization, but we still want the fundamental things that these sort of programs create in the very first place. Like, we do need prosecution of people within our society. That's a fundamental requirement. We need it. But how can we fundamentally engage with that sort of need while also simultaneously reducing negative impacts on individuals that don't deserve to be there in the first place? How can we reduce the likelihood that innocent people are held accountable for things that they didn't do, or stop holding people accountable for things they shouldn't be held accountable for, right? And start holding people accountable for things they should be held accountable for. And I think starting with that means holding people like Donald Trump accountable for the things that they've done, right? Like, he's been held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman. He's been convicted of 34 felonies. He's bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent, where 2 18-year-olds came out and said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms. He was credibly accused by a minor in the Epstein files. They got a settlement with the Epstein estate. And we need to hold people like this accountable. He actively, from the position of presidency, doesn't hold people accountable. He tried to prevent the release of the Epstein files. So it seems like to me now we both agree on this that Harris is the better option. Obviously, Harris isn't perfect by any means, but is a better option comparative to Trump. And I also would say that I think that there are other options within the Democratic Party that are preferable from an ideological standpoint comparative to Harris. But I also do acknowledge that Harris was rightfully put into that position because when the president steps down, the vice president steps up, especially after the primary happened, and we voted for the Biden-Harris ticket. So of course the vice president's going to step up when the president steps down. Plus, no one decided to run against her, and 80% of the Democratic Party was satisfied with her being the nominee. So I just wanted to clarify those things as a baseline, all right, before we end the conversation. But I do appreciate you having this conversation with me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Peace out.
Peace out. Alrighty. Hey, Just Real, you're still there? Are you still mad that I'm making money? Or did they leave? They just got mad and left. But they're still here. They just left their phone. Let's go on to the next person. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube. So as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, as always. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, Parker, hit a blinker with me real quick.
Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request. How are you still doing that? That is actually nuts, bro. How are you still doing that, bro? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Fucking, man.
I'm just making money tonight, man.
You're not making shit. Shut the fuck up.
Sophia, how old are you?
Anywho. You know, man. You know.
No, I don't. How long has it been since I talked to you?
It's been like a week or two now.
Okay.
Is that enough time?
Get me jealous.
Nope.
I'm making money tonight, man. Don't be jealous.
Just real. Why are you so jealous of me making money that you have to come up and spam this over and over again? Are you not done? How long are you gonna do this?
You're making me hella money tonight. No, I'm happy. Let's keep on doing this thing, man. I'm making hella money right now. Come on now. Stop it. Oh, you haven't figured it out yet.
What have I not figured out?
Yeah, well, I don't want to tell you because I might get arrested. But yeah, I'm making hella money, so let's keep doing this thing.
You haven't made anything. I just want to let you know, this whole time, you actually have made absolutely nothing. I just want to let you know that. The 28 points you have doesn't even factor out to a cent. I just want to let you know. The 28 coins that you've got here on TikTok does not even factor out to a single penny. I just want to clarify.
You sound jealous.
I'm so jealous of your less than a penny. Yes. Terribly jealous. You're right, Just Real. I'm so jealous. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
So sorry. I'm from New Zealand, but I was just...
You're good, don't worry. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen.
Do you have access to my...
Timeout. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen.
You're getting high.
This guy is so mad, dude. Imagine being this angry that people are sending me donations that you spend, 20 fucking minutes of your life? You spent the past 23 minutes trying to say the same thing. Actually, dude. I can't imagine wasting that much of my time.
I think
actually, dude. That's nuts, bro.
I just made more than you, bro.
You haven't made anything, bro. What are you talking about? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, shoot. Hi. Wait, I didn't mean to join. I'm sorry. I'm listening.
You're good. Don't worry. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. This guy's wasting so much of his life. I'm here for it. I think this is funny. He's wasting so much of his life. Yo,
hey, what's up, Parker? I'm 33 years old.
And do you support Trump?
Of course, buddy. Absolutely. 100%.
Okay. And if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Donald J. Trump.
Okay, for sure. I have someone to thank real quick, and then we can move on to our conversation. Just give me a quick second.
Okay.
Wanderings, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. As well as Aquardia, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $50. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. The older I get, the more woke I get. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. That's amazing to hear. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much, Aquardia. I really appreciate the $50. I bet Just Real's really happy about that one. Alrighty, Ultimate Man, why do you support Trump?
Because I support a lot of his policies. I like how he's a blunt person. He doesn't sugarcoat what he wants to say, whether it sounds dumb or not. I think society has gotten tired of like sugar-coated promises, you know? Well, not sugar-coated promises, but just we got tired of just sitting around, nothing being done.
Yeah. You know what? I totally agree with you. In politics, there's been too many people that sugarcoat things and say things that they don't actually mean.
Wars. I'm going to keep you out of wars. I kept you out of wars. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. We don't need the wars. I will end the chaos in the Middle East. I will prevent World War III. We will expel the warmongers from our government. God. I will restore peace. Look at his rhetoric. I said, no, my rhetoric's going to keep us out of wars. We're ending wars all over this planet.
Parker, I don't think that was really nice of you to play that.
Yeah, that was pretty mean, wasn't it?
I mean, it just wasn't right. Yeah, okay.
That was immoral.
Comment so I can thank my.
He's just making fun of you.
I know.
Bro, I just think, first of all, we got dragged into this war. I don't think this was our war that we should have gotten into. But that's obviously more political than just saying it, right?
Yeah, bro, I'm still muted.
Leave him muted. Let him feel it.
No, I have him muted. He's unmuting himself.
He should be privileged to be sitting here in Parker's live.
Yes, true. He should be thanking me because I'm making him this funny in the first place. You should be thanking me right now, Just Real. Thank me, actually.
Yeah, I'm not gay, bro. I'll make my comment.
He's muting the comments too. He's so mad.
Does he support Trump and he's acting like that?
Yeah.
See, he's the type. Those are the type of people that make the rest of us Trumpers look bad. You see that type of behavior he's displaying?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that you would rather look at Trump's behavior. I mean, his behavior is pretty minimal comparative to Trump.
I beg to differ, man.
Really? Like him being held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, bragging about walking to the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without the consent, where two 18-year-olds came out, said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms. He went up to a 10-year-old girl, said he'd be dating her in 10 years. He sexualized his daughter on countless occasions, saying he'd be dating his own daughter if it wasn't his daughter, saying he had Howard Stern calling his daughter a piece of ass, right? Saying he has sex in common with his daughter, etc. Like, I mean, all of these things are indications of him having horrible and bad behavior, a lot worse than what this guest has done on the stream so far.
But that stuff is okay. It's not that bad.
Okay, you're trolling.
It's not. I'm being honest.
I actually don't support Trump. Yeah, that dude's a pedophile.
What? You don't support Trump?
Fuck no. Who supports Trump?
Hey, I appreciate you then. Yo, WU. You don't support Trump? Let's go.
Hell fucking no. Who supports Trump, bro?
Yo, let's go.
The fuck? He's a Jew lover.
Okay. Well, now we don't agree with you. Okay. It has nothing to do with Jewish people that you should be against Trump. Like, what are you talking about? It's not like the anti-Semitism. Like, it sounded like we were in the same. Nope, he's outside. Okay. Alrighty, fuck him. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria. List on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Literally, he went from yay to nay in 0.3 seconds. Israel getting us into the war, by the way, is not Jewish people. It's the state of Israel. It's the government of Israel. It's not Jewish people. Like, there's a big distinction, right? Saying it's Jewish people is anti-Semitism. You can literally criticize the Israeli government without saying Jewish people, right, did this, or it's Jewish people's fault. You can also be a Zionist and not be Jewish. Most Zionists are not Jewish. They're actually Christian. Yotsup, how old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria. List in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Alrighty, let's get this next person up here. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Michael, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you so much, Michael. As well as Sandro, thank you so much for the €100. Thank you so much on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. To make the color bad, enjoy this gift, by the way. It isn't strange to call yourself... isn't it strange to call yourself the land of the free, but you can't be trans or another member of the rainbow family? You can't have an abortion, and you can't have euthanasia, you can't have universal healthcare, etc. Yeah, it is a bit ridiculous for us to call ourselves the land of the free, but we violate people's freedoms in so many ways. Literally, like in this country, trans people have been kicked out of the military just for being trans, right? And yet we call ourselves the land of the free. It's ridiculous. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Oh, wait, they were up here already trolling earlier. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
33.
Be
You
sport
said
Trump.
Jews don't run the Israeli government?
Oh.
It's not.
Yeah, that's that guy's a Nazi. Or not, a far-right person. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Okay, let's go to the next individual. Do give it a quick second, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Again, everyone, we are just looking for some debates. Alrighty, let's go to the next person. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I just want to say, fuck Trump.
Okay, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody.
Yo, hello.
Willing to describe to me what your view is now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
nice. Alrighty. Why do you support Trump?
I guess like largely due to like trans policies and stuff. I don't believe trans women are women.
Okay, what specific trans policy do you disagree with Kamala Harris on?
Well, it's kind of like the idea of whether or not trans women are women. I've seen like a clip of
So
her saying
no
that-
specific policy, just the fact that you disagree with trans women being women?
Well, that's like one reason, sure. Like I've seen like a clip of you saying that a woman is like an adult person with like desires that are like in accordance with a particular set of social and cultural norms, typically associated with a female. Smacks. I think that's verbatim.
As a
right?
prescription of their gender identity.
Okay. Would you say that an individual that satisfies the characteristics that are true of a woman, but they do not identify as a woman, they identify as a man, would you consider this person a man or a woman?
You said someone specifically that satisfies the criteria, but then doesn't
Oh, well,
identify
it's-
that way?
No, it says they have like from like a outside perspective, just on face value, you would assume that this individual is a woman because they satisfy most of the characteristics that are true of a woman, but the identification is not there.
Do they
So
have
I'm
the
pretty sure
commitment
that-
to be in accordance?
Depends on how you see it. It would just be based on like
If it
how you
depends, then
identify
it sounds like not.
Well, no, you claim that it was like a set, right? So when you say it's a set, then it's going to be
Yeah.
a bunch of like elements inside of the set. And
Yeah,
then
but
maybe
it's
there's,
it's
like,
the
certain
commitment
elements
to
that
be in
you value.
accordance. It's not how many you have. It's just the fact that you have at least one commitment to be in accordance with a certain set of social and cultural norms that are typically associated with sex as a prescription of their identity.
Oh, well, I disagree. I mean, you could have like, a commitment that's true of a man and a commitment that's true of a woman. You wouldn't be both a man and a woman, right?
I think that you could obviously be committed to be in accordance with both sets of sex characteristics, and that would be totally coherent.
I mean, there's like true things like you can say that for any man. There'd be technically something that's true of most women, but then they'll share that characteristic. Like for example, if like a man has like long hair, they're still a man, right? Like they'll just identify as a man, they're still a man. Everything else, but then usually long hair is something that's attributed to like a female. right?
But it's
And
a
that's just
desire
me.
to be in accordance with that as a prescription
yeah.
of your gender identity.
And then when you say
not
yeah,
just
when you
the
say, like,
engagement with that characteristic. Like
Mhm.
I can have
So, yeah.
feminine characteristics. That doesn't make me a woman. That's not what I'm
yeah,
arguing.
I understand that. I understand that. So I'm just saying, like, since you say that it's a set, there's going to be like all these different like characteristics. We can say think of like identification as one specific characteristic. We can say that, all right, well,
Well, when you
X
say
chromosomes-
identification, do you mean like I think that's how we use the term desire to be in accordance with, or at least how we typically use it.
Well, well then can't I just like reduce down your your like definition?
You identify with
of a
certain
woman?
sets of social and cultural norms as a prescription of your gender identity. That would be completely fair.
Ooh, well, that seems like a kind of like a jargon heavy way of like giving
It's
a
not.
definition without actually invoking the word woman.
Exactly. Wait, that it's not jargon heavy. It's literally just a way to define it without specifically
no, it
making it
just seems like
circular.
you're-
It's literally a
Well,
way
no,
to
you're just
define
like-
the. You're just mad that I have a way to define the term without making it circular.
No. So like when you're defining the term, you can have like a definition of a term, right? But then like if I like examine the definition, I can like reduce it down to some form of circularity. In this case, when you're saying that there's like some sort of desire, initially you said something about a set.
The original
So-
definition, right, isn't circular.
Yeah, presumably, yeah. So like normally when I hear something like a set, we can say that there's like we can say, oh well, we'll put woman on the left or man on the right or something like that, and then an individual who satisfies say over 0.5 credence in favor of one specific thing would be categorized as this individual, right? Whereas like under your worldview, someone can look like a woman, right? So it's like let's say you went to the mall, right, and you just saw someone who obviously we all have assumptions on what people's genders are, right? We all do it. Like I could go to the mall and be like, oh, this is a woman, this is a man, this is a man, whatever. I could be
Okay.
wrong, right? Yeah. So my idea is like you can say that, all right, well, I think that this individual is a woman because they satisfy most of the characteristics that are true of a woman. But once you ask them, what's your gender, and then they don't identify as a woman, they identify as a man. Now,
When you say satisfy
according-
most of the characteristics, I'm just confused what that even means. Right? Because
outside-
when we're
for me,
talking about my
outside
characteristics, or are you talking about your characteristics?
Physical characteristics that are true of a woman.
So just expression.
Yeah, just from like the outside
Yeah,
perspective.
I don't base it on expression. I base it on
So you base it
commitment
on
to be in
identification?
accordance with those characteristics as a
And then how do
prescription of
you
one's
determine-
gender identity.
Okay. And how do you wait? It's a description of one's gender identity. All right. How do you determine that?
Okay, wait, that's a completely separate question of what a woman is comparative to how do you identify
no.
what a woman is.
Well-
do you agree
well,
that
you do
how
realize
you
that
identify what a woman is not going to be by looking at their genitalia, chromosomes, or gametes? So you don't base it upon biological sex from that standpoint. So the way in which you
Well-
identify what a woman is going to be different from what a woman is in of itself, right? At least from a definitional standpoint.
Well,
And
yeah,
you
but
already
then it just seems
acknowledged
like
that
your
from your own
original definition of,
definition.
like, the set
Wait, by
thing.
the way, you already acknowledged that from your own definition because you acknowledge that you have assumptions on who you consider to be a man and a woman based on social characteristics and expressions, and rather not the biological sex characteristics in which they have. You've already conceded to
Oh
that
yeah,
point.
no, I'm completely fine with that. I can think someone as one specific thing.
So
that-
irrelevant. So
and
that's irrelevant to answering the question of, from a definitional standpoint, what a woman is.
Well, no, it doesn't change the fact that they're necessarily something, right? So if let's say someone individual.
Can you respond
right,
to my point? Like, do you
was-
agree that your whole criticism there doesn't make any sense? Because
Well, no,
regardless
no.
of whether or not I can identify in certain scenarios in the real world, whether or not someone's a man or a woman, that doesn't take away from the fact that from a definitional standpoint, that I have a coherent definition.
Well, no. So when I think of a woman, I think there's going to be like this biological truth that's true of the individual, saying that this individual.
Yeah, but like that's
satisfies
not what you're
characteristics that are
going
true
to
of an
do to
adult,
identify.
or
You're not going
this
to
individual is at least
like in order to
18 years old or
determine that
whatever.
someone's a woman, you don't need to identify that they have that certain biological sex characteristic,
Okay,
right?
wait, according to you, the identity. Look here, let me
Wait,
give you like some
right?
sort of
Correct?
analogy.
Yes or no? Or do you look at people's genitals before you know what gender they are?
No, absolutely not. I can.
Okay, so
acknowledge someone-
obviously that's not what you're going to be doing. So can you
No,
at least
so-
acknowledge from a standpoint that the way that you identify whether or not someone's a man or a woman is irrelevant to the definitional standpoint of what you consider a man or a woman to be?
Yeah, but then there's like a truth behind it, regardless of how I view the individual, right? So I can think someone is a woman and they're, a biological male. They present themselves as a woman, and just let's say they're like a very like hardcore trans to the point where I couldn't tell that they were, a man, right? And I just thought that they were a woman, and then they identified as a woman. Yeah, I can think that this individual is a woman, but it doesn't change the fact that if they were truly someone with like XY chromosomes and they're biologically a male, that they're a man. It's the same way like if you go to, let's say like there's people. Someone can be
So
like
what's your
17
point here? What's your point here? And also, by the way, I wouldn't consider them
Well,
now.
because
I would
there's a
consider
necessary truth
I
behind
consider
it.
trans women to be women, and I consider trans men to be men. And also,
Okay,
you're
okay,
not
it's fine,
giving a
it's fine.
dispute of my definition or of the
No,
position
it's
that I
fine,
hold.
It's fine. Yeah, we'll get into that. So
Yeah,
what I'm saying
instead
is,
of
suppose that there's someone. Suppose that there's.
you said that you were originally getting into it, and then I disputed your argument. You still haven't addressed the dispute of the
Well, no,
argument.
you haven't disputed anything, right?
I did.
Well, I'm gonna get into why it's circular. All right, so suppose that if
It's not.
let's say let's say there's like a club, right? And this club says, all right, well, everyone who joins everyone who wants to get inside this club must be at least 21 years old. Now, someone can be like, say, really young, right? Someone could be like 17, and then they have like a fake ID, and then they say they pose as 21, and then they tell everyone that they're 21, and someone can, and let's just say like people accept this individual as 21 because they claim to be 21. Does that change the fact that this individual actually is 17 and is a minor? Are they going to be accepted as an adult here? Okay, exactly. But that's the idea, right?
So isn't that exactly my point? That my definition, regardless of whether or not I can determine in a certain scenario that they meet my definition, that doesn't change whether my definition is valid? That's actually, like, you are proving my point without realizing it.
No. Okay, so here's your definition. When you give your definition, here's like another analogy to satisfy like what your definition kind of entails. Would be, say, like there's a company owned by 5 individuals.
I'm gonna let you do this, and then I'm gonna try to ask you what a policy is of Trump's that you like, because this is completely irrelevant to why you support Trump.
Sure. Yeah. So let's say there's like 5 individuals that own a company. One of them owns 60% of the company, and then the other 4 each own 10% of the company. And then they say, in order for us to make a business decision together, everyone must vote, and the majority vote wins. It seems a bit redundant for the people that own 10% to all vote, right? Because since one individual owns 60% of the company, well, you don't agree?
No, I mean, I think that you could still see a reason to vote, even so.
Well, no, I don't think so. Because if the majority vote wins, right? The majority vote wins. So one individual.
Do you think a company will always go the exact same way?
Yeah, it would be based on the majority vote.
Okay, so if you're saying, if we're assuming that a company that owns 60% will always be able to determine it, then I guess you would have no position to vote as a 10% holder, because the 60% person will be able to get whatever they want through. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Exactly.
What's your point?
So that's the exact same way when I bring it up here, right? There can be all these like true things of an individual. Say, all right, well, X chromosomes satisfies a fraction of what makes a woman, and then this feature satisfies another fraction, and this whatever, and then the identification criteria will satisfy more than 50%. Then everything else becomes redundant, because all you're going to accept is the identification that this person gives you. So the only way, if you're going to determine whether or not an individual is a woman or a man, is based on the identification, right? Then your actual definition of a woman would just be reduced down to an adult individual who identifies as a woman.
No.
Right? So wait, do you think that in order for
no,
them
that's
to be
not
a
my
woman,
definition.
Wait, do you think that in order for them to be a woman...
Wait, I don't see the entailment there. Can you explain the entailment?
So the entailment would be that if the identification criteria, right, satisfies over 50%, right, because you said there was a set. According in your definition, you invoked.
Yeah, it's a commitment to be in accordance with a set of characteristics. So, like, we're talking about feminine sex characteristics or masculine sex characteristics, right? Specifically, that you would associate with the certain sexes as a prescription of one's gender identity.
Okay, yeah, but I'm saying an individual can satisfy the characteristics that are typically true of the female, or like typically true of a woman, but they don't have that, identification commitment to where they identify as a woman. So they identify as a man. You would still call them a man because you take that identification to satisfy a far larger, threshold, as opposed to like.
I'm not following your point. I think you're trying to say if they satisfy all these conditions while also you're kind of contradicting yourself. I kind of told you already, and I clarified with you that you can use the notion of identifies within the context of my definition, that we're identifying with a certain set of characteristics. Well, for example, if we're talking about a man, masculine characteristics is a prescription of one's gender identity. This is not complicated. There's nothing logically incorrect about my definition.
Listen. So my notion of what a woman is would be a lot more, clear, given that it's always going to be
I don't think it's more clear. I disagree with your notion.
That if I said, okay, all adults or individuals over 18, regardless of how someone, identifies, or if someone just gets away with like being like, I don't know, a minor, being 17 and calling themselves like 25 or whatever like that, it doesn't change the fact that that individual is still 17 and not an adult.
That's not the dispute I'm making.
By the way,
if your whole point here is essentially saying, oh, someone who is a trans woman is still biologically male. No one's disputing that. No one's disputing that someone who's a trans woman is biologically male. No one's disputing that someone who's a trans man is biologically female. No one's disputing that.
Well, no. Well, a man would just be a subcategory of a male.
Okay, can you now answer what policy you support Trump for?
With being an adult. What was that?
Can you tell me what policy you support Trump for? Because we've spent, 20 minutes talking about something completely irrelevant?
You do realize that your position is kind of like
12 minutes?
circular, though, right?
It's not circular. You're just trying
It's
to
not circular.
superimpose.
Well, you just said the identification criteria is what satisfies what makes an individual a woman or a man.
Yeah, but identifies not just what you're doing is a straw man. You're trying to say I'm saying identifies as a woman. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying identifies, right?
You just put it in a jargon way, but then once I reduced
wait. When you say you put it in a jargon way, that's your way of not actually responding to the fact that what I argued was not circular. You just consider anything that is not the circular notion of the definition to be jargon. Okay. Which means that you just don't like it. It just means you don't like it. That's all it means.
I know, but wait.
So instead of you just saying you don't like my language, instead of you just saying that you don't like my language, can you please tell me why you actually support Trump? Like, can you stop being a snowflake for a second? I use different language than you. Stop being a snowflake about it.
What the sense reference distinction is? Right.
Can you please just answer a question? What policy do you support of Trump? If you don't answer the question, I will kick you and you'll spend your time in the comment section for the next fucking 3 weeks again.
Whoa, relax, dude.
Because all you've done on my live stream is do anything but answer my questions. I'm asking you a direct question. Name a single policy of Trump's that you like. Can you name it?
All right, fine, sure. I guess like he's in favor of reducing the number of elective abortions.
Okay, so you support Trump because he reduces the number of elective abortions. Okay, if I could demonstrate to you that his policy that he passed led to increased levels of abortion, would you say that you don't support him anymore?
I think that you're going to use like false statistics because if we were to actually make a proper evaluation with the given data, we'd use the first 4 years after Roe v. Wade was overturned, and then we use the first 4 years of Roe v. Wade being put into place. We can say that even though there's like an increase in the number of abortions within the given time frame that we have, there's also like a 63% increase in women as opposed to the first 4 years. We wouldn't just pick like an arbitrary 4 years within like the 40 years of Roe v. Wade, right? Because then that would just be like in favor of your position. And then there's going to be other characteristics that also are like other traits that are also true of the given state of affairs, being like it would be completely reactionary of an individual or like women to, get an abortion because of the fact that Roe v. Wade was overturned, or it's because of Trump that these things are happening, right? It's like, oh, well, I'm going to spit in Trump's face by getting an abortion. So yeah, I don't think that you're going to really give me any good argument for that.
Okay. So
wait, you concede now?
What? I haven't even spoke yet. What is this? I'm literally going to speak. Can I speak, please?
It just seemed like you kind of like agreed with what I said.
No, I didn't. Can I please speak? Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Let me respond. Okay, what do you mean? Are you going to concede before I even said anything? This is why I kicked you the first time and why I don't bring you up on my stream, because you act like a dishonest piece of shit for no reason. I hadn't said anything yet, and you assume, are you conceding now? Like, what are you?
Well, no, you just said,
dude,
okay,
stop acting like shut the fuck up. Stop acting like a 12-year-old. I know there's Lego Batman in your profile picture, but Jesus Christ. Okay, so the comparison that we'd make is the few years after Roe versus Wade is implemented, comparative to the few years prior to it being implemented. I do agree that there can be an increase in abortions, even if specifically there was going to be, or just because of the population difference. But the argument is still true that it led to an increase in the amount of abortion. So you actually have no argument to make that it decreased the level of abortion. Do you have any good argument to make that the leaving it up to the states actually legitimately decreased the level of abortions?
Yeah, the cardinality is going to be extremely small. The set of years that we would have to.
You said what? I can't hear you. Speak up.
The cardinality. You know what a cardinality is?
No, I actually don't. Tell me what that is.
It's just really the size of the set. In this case, it'd be the set of years. It would be extremely small in the set of years that we would have to make a proper evaluation. Because if you're going to invoke the 40 years of Roe v. Wade being put into place as opposed to just the 4 years after it was overturned, and even if you were to pick the first 4 years prior to it being overturned, then I could just use like some sort of like reactionary rebuttal, right? That individuals would be completely reactionary.
I think this is a dumb argument. The reason why I think this is a dumb argument is because you're essentially arguing that we can't judge the effect of tariffs because the set of years of when tariffs have been implemented versus when they were not, right, is small. It's actually smaller than that of the overturning of Roe versus Wade. So actually, you would make an argument that we can't demonstrate that there's been a upward pressure on the prices in terms of inflation, given the imposition of tariffs because the set of years is too small, which I think is absurd.
Well, no, the set of years is too small when it comes to the abortion topic, right?
Wait, why?
Yeah, because you're comparing 4 years as opposed to 40 years of Roe.
I never compared 40 years of Roe versus Wade. I never did that.
Even if you
I compared the few years. I actually, what I told you is the few years prior to the overturning, and then the few years after the overturning. That's actually what I told you. But you decided to say that you disputed it because of something that I never even said in the first place.
No. And then I gave a rebuttal saying that thing would just
something I never said.
Well, no. Well, I had a counter argument against what you just said, though. about like the last 4 years of Roe v. Wade as opposed to the first 4 years of it being overturned was going to be that it's reactionary. Like the number of abortions that happen is.
And how is that a criticism of the determination of whether or not this actually led to a decrease in the level of abortions?
The decrease in, well, no, there was more.
Because I'm saying that you have no evidence that the policies you advocated for actually decreased abortions.
Yeah, because
what's your
because,
evidence?
The way that I would, but I think that the best way that we would have to make like a proper relation between the two, given things being Roe v. Wade and the overturning, would be the first 4 years of Roe v. Wade being put into place as opposed to the first 4 years after it was overturned. I think that that's the best way that we can actually make.
Yeah, but like that doesn't. We've seen abortion increase.
Yeah, but that's because that's true of the policy in and of itself. Whereas you're just picking like an arbitrary 4 years, saying that the last 4 years of Roe v. Wade as opposed to the first 4 years of it being overturned. Why would I have to accept that when there's going to be these like reactionary things that are true of like the state of affairs after it was overturned, right? Seems like you're just being like completely like if you're just going to use like some sort of like shitty data there, right? I mean, you're an economics major. I think you should understand things, right?
I think you're just like, are you like purposefully doing this right now? Because like you're purposefully misrepresenting what I'm saying again. I'm not and this might be a blunder on your fault. Maybe you're unintentionally doing this. Let me please respond. Maybe you're unintentionally doing this, but what you're doing here is dishonest. I'm asking you, what is your evidence that it decreased abortion? And you're trying to say I'm dishonest for my frame of reference, but I was asking you for the frame of reference. My original frame of reference, the only thing that I mentioned was if we want to make a comparison, the 4 years prior and the 4 years after, there's no issue with that. You say it's too small of a set of years. Under your view, then you can't make a determination on tariffs.
No, that's not what I said.
Obviously, if you took any economics class, you could know that it is a set of reference in terms of a set of years that's large enough to be able to make an inference from. I don't think any argument from any economist would argue that the set of years is too small, given the imposition of tariffs. That's obviously absurd. The Federal Reserve literally indicated an effect of tariffs, given the implementation over the past year. So obviously they disagree specifically with what you're saying. But I'm asking you, again, what is your evidence that the overturning of Roe versus Wade actually legitimately decreased the amount of abortions? Because you said that you support Trump because his policies decrease the amount of abortions.
Okay, wait. I'm going to give you like kind of like three distinct arguments for three different positions of Roe v. Wade and not Roe v. or overturning of Roe v. Wade. The first position would be if we just took like, obviously this is not your position, but if we took 40 years of Roe v. Wade and compared to the
holy shit,
years,
dude.
Okay, I'm gonna give you three different positions.
I'm asking you, what is your evidence for the fact that the overturning of Roe versus Wade actually legitimately decreased abortion?
Because there's a less number of abortions as opposed to the number of women within the given time frame and the turns.
Wait, what's your source?
The year that it was overturned as opposed to the first. Yeah, I can give you the source. Well, it's just like you can just look at the numbers itself. So
what's your source that the per capita level of abortion is lower now?
Okay. Go to look at the number of abortions that happened within 1973 and 1977. Because that's
no. I'm asking you, what's your source?
Yeah,
are you saying you did the math yourself?
Yeah, I did that. Of course I did. I'm a math major. Why would I?
Okay, so let's watch this MAGA math. So run us through all of the math and the exact numbers and calculations that you made. Let's hear it.
Okay, well, I can give it to you. Well, so within I think that there's like an 11% increase in the number of actual abortions that happened in the first 4 years of it being overturned as opposed to the first 4 years it was put into place.
What's your source?
I can give it to you. Well, I'm saying that it's 11% more after it was overturned.
I understand.
I'm saying there's more abortions.
I understand, but what's your basis of saying this in the first place so that we know that we have the same data?
Well, I just looked at the actual data itself.
Where did you see the data? As I'm asking.
Fine. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Everything but answering. You're going to be a politician someday? You want to run for office?
No, not really. I don't really.
Well, it sounds like you want to.
Well, I'd rather just be like a mathematician.
Well, you don't answer questions directly, so it sounds like you want to be a politician, like you're getting ready for that.
That's funny. Hold up, let me just go look for it. Right.
Alrighty. Trey, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Very true. Rebel, thank you so much for the $5 as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As well as Aaron, thank you for the $20. Thank you very much on PayPal. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well as April, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. Heidi, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, that's amazing to hear. That's great. I hope it goes well for you. As well as Michael, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. And Marina, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $4. That's crazy. That is actually nuts. I don't know why you would do that.
Okay,
That's so crazy.
I got roughly 3.9 million abortions with the first 4 years after just looking it up, each of them. Are you okay with that? Or like, do you want me to
Where
give
did you find that?
Oh, it's just like the ChatGPT overview.
Okay, I'm not asking for AI overview.
Well,
I don't accept AI as a source.
The Johnston Archive. That's the source that it's.
What's the title?
Well, it's just like it's giving the number of abortions that happened since 1960 to 2013.
Yeah, that's not even the analysis that I would make. Why would you go up to 2013? Why would you go up to 2013? That's incoherent.
2013, every single year. I'm just using the number of abortions that happened within those
Yeah, sir, I
years.
understand. But you're making a comparison of the years prior to Roe versus Wade being overturned versus the years after. If you cut off at 2013, that cuts off all the years that would be relevant.
I'm not counting 2013. It's just giving you a notion from 1960 to 2013.
Wait, also, you're a math major and you just use ChatGPT to do your math for you?
Well, no, I just asked for the number that actually happened. And
it was wrong. You didn't even get the right source. I'll tell you where to find this information.
No,
from.
I just did.
Go to kff.org.
Oh my god.
Look, go to KF. I'm telling you where to find it right now. Go to kff.org, right, and look up estimated number of abortions. It tells you between 2022 and 2025, and that it's increased from a monthly basis in April 2022. It was actually 84,000 from a monthly basis in June 20. Please shut the fuck up. From a monthly basis in June 2025, it's 95,000. So, do you agree that that's an increase?
Increasing annually from 979,000. Yeah, I agree that that's an increase, but then the compare. What's the comparison again?
So, what is the percent increase?
The percent increase. What are the numbers again?
95,270 for June 2025. And for April 2022, 84,080.
There's a decrease. There's going to be like a 10% decrease?
No, it went from 84,000 to 95,000.
You said 94,000. You want to bet you said 94,000?
Yeah, listen to what I said. I said for June 2025, 95,270, and I said for April 2022, 84,080. Are you really this ridiculous? Listen to what I'm saying.
84,000. Okay, yeah, that's going to be
April 2022 is before June 2025. Do you know how dates
work? Can you
work?
give it to me in chronological order? Like, can you stop just jargoning, saying like, "Oh, well, this happened in 19." Give me in chronological order, and then
okay, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you then. Okay, April 2022, 84,080, and then 2025, 95,270.
Okay, then that's going to be like an increase, roughly like 13 or 14%.
Okay, has the population increased 13 to 14% since 2022?
And then, but since 2022, yeah, there's obviously going to be an increase in the population, but not
by that same percent.
By that percentage, probably close to that actually.
No, maybe nowhere fucking near that. You think the population increased by you think the population nearly increased by 30 million people in 3 years? Are you fucking serious?
Whoa!
How dishonest you have to be to say that?
Well, no, I just said it's going to be like roughly like
genuinely think about that for a second. You're a math major. Think about that for a second. You think in 3 years the United States population increased by over 11%?
Well, no, I gave that.
No, obviously not. So then what you just argued earlier, that per capita levels of abortion actually decreased, that's wrong. Based upon our analysis and based upon the math right now. You said you did the math earlier. Apparently you were doing MAGA math because now that we've done the math on the live stream right in front of you, you were wrong. Actually, the per capita level of abortion has increased because the level of population growth has been nowhere near 11% in 3 years. But yet the level of abortion increase on a monthly basis was around that level. So actually, what does that tell you? The per capita level of abortion has increased. You're wrong.
You're doing this exact same thing again. I
actually just proved you wrong. Wait, your whole argument was that we know.
Stop getting so.
Wait. By the way, his whole argument was we know that we know that overturning Roe versus Wade led to less abortions because of the fact that we actually saw the per capita level of abortions decrease. And he was wrong with that. The per capita levels of abortions actually increased. So based upon his own argument, what does that tell us? That tells us that Donald Trump's overturning of Roe versus Wade caused more abortions to happen under his own worldview.
Hey, what are you joking about? Calm down. All right, relax.
Apparently you're just not tracking.
No, it seems like you're not actually tracking, right? Because I gave you, even with
you're a math major, MAGA math. This is what I say. You got your fucking, you're going to Trump University. That's where you're going.
Wait, can you explain to me what econometrics is?
Econometrics is the use of statistics, right, and economics in order to be able to form real world conclusions about how people act in the world.
Okay, good. And then what theory of probability? Wait.
I fucking totally destroyed you.
Okay, wait,
he
what theory of
pivoted to
probability
what
is
is econometrics, Parker? What is econometrics? Something that I've taken and you haven't. Have you taken econometrics?
No, I haven't taken econometrics.
I have.
I'm not an economist.
So something I've taken and that you haven't.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
fucking
what if-
hilarious that he asked me to define something that he hasn't even taken
and then-
himself.
wait,
Oh
let's
my
just look
god,
at every
I can't even.
economics major
Dude, stop, bro. Stop. Dude, you're embarrassing
the
yourself
three
right now.
axioms of
How embarrassing is this, dude? Now, can you address my argument?
Well, what are the three axioms?
Can you address my argument? I know you want to like ask me a bunch of random questions that are irrelevant to the argument.
No, I mean, you're
you can
the
ask me
economics
those
major.
questions. You can ask me those questions once I'm done, right, going through the entirety of the argument that I just dogged walk you with. Okay, so do you want to actually engage your whole argument was the evidence that the Roe versus Wade specifically caused less abortions to happen was the per capita level of abortions decreased, but actually the per capita level of abortions increased. Therefore, based upon your worldview, actually the overturning of Roe versus Wade increased the level of abortions. Address that argument.
Oh my God, you're not listening. Why aren't you listening? I gave you the three distinct positions, right? And all positions, it would be in favor of my position, right? So if I said, if you're comparing the 3 years prior or the 4 years prior to it, I just told you it's going to be reactionary. If we compare the entire 40 years, then the cardinality is going to be extremely small in the 4 years in order to make a proper evaluation with the 40 years. And if we use the first 4 years of Roe v. Wade as opposed to the first 4 years of it overturning, then yeah, the probability, population distinction is going to be so intense, like it's going to be like very, very distinct from each other to the point where there's actually be less amount of abortions within the given time frame, as opposed to the cardinality being like the number of individuals within that time frame, or the number of women specifically.
Okay, so I think that all of these things are nonsense. We already disputed the population
That's
distinction.
nonsense. Though. I just disputed all three of
Can
the
I finish
points. Those
speaking
are
without
three
you cutting me off?
possibilities, right?
Can I finish speaking without you cutting me off?
I love how the comment says you cannot compare 40 years to 4 years. That's what I've been saying. And then they're kind of like taking a shot against me. Like, wow, you should be taking a shot against Parker because that's exactly
I never
what he's
claimed
doing.
that. That's not the basis of analysis that
Well,
I
no,
made.
yeah, because
I
you were
actually
picking
told you
an
multiple
arbitrary 4
times that
years.
was a straw man of my position.
Yeah,
and you
because
chose
you were
to
picking an
completely
arbitrary
ignore
4
that
years.
repeatedly over and over again. And now when I'm
Wait,
trying to
do you think,
explain
like-
my worldview, all
you
you
think
can
it's
do
better
is
to
cut
pick
me
out, like,
off
an
instead of letting me
arbitrary
explain.
consecutive 4
Do I
years?
need to mute you, sir?
Alright, go
Can you
ahead.
shut the fuck up? Actually, genuinely shut up. I literally just let you speak. I let you go through all of that nonsense after you've already explained the same bullshit multiple times and I've disproven it multiple times. So how about you listen to me while I
You
speak?
literally didn't. You haven't addressed anything.
I addressed everything. You can watch back this later
No,
because
I
you're
literally
apparently
debunked every single
unable
point that
to.
you brought.
Shut the fuck up. You are unable to actually listen and actually hear through my arguments. So when you watch this back later, you're going to see that I actually did already respond to these things. Okay? So you said the level of years is too small. You know what? We already did respond to this. I said based upon that mechanism of analysis, saying the levels of years are too small to be able to make an analysis, well then actually, one, not only would you not be able to make the determination that the overturning of Roe versus Wade actually decreased the amount of abortions, which is the whole claim for why you support Trump in the first place, but two, right? But two, right? It's also not relevant because you can make a determination within that time. So I'm also helping you out, by the way, with this argument. You can make a determination that close because again, the Federal Reserve is able to make a determination about tariffs, right? Even though they've been in effect for a longer period of time than the overturning of Roe versus Wade. So if the level of years is too small to be able to make a determination, well, then obviously you're not going to be able to make a determination on tariffs impact in terms of the economy, which you would think is ridiculous if you take into consideration what the Federal Reserve determines with their analyses. Secondly, right? You said specifically population distinction. We already disputed that because we went over the math for the per capita distinction, right? Before the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Be quiet. Before the overturning of Roe versus Wade versus after the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Because your whole argument was the per capita levels of abortion decreased since the overturning of Roe versus Wade, which was proven false by us. And then you also said it's reactionary. Something being reactionary to something that happened isn't actually evidence that you are not going to look at the data.
Whoa.
Any data that you analyze is going to be reactionary because you're responding to things that happened within data. What?
No, because there's going to be like a distinct thing that happens, right? So if I said tomorrow, oh, well, like let's say the grocery sales within a store are a specific amount, and then the news came in and said, oh, well, there's going to be like some sort of like heavy snowstorm or something like that, and then people are going to have to stay inside of their houses, right? Then every single person is going to go out to the supermarket or whatever, and they're going to buy a bunch of stuff, right? That's a reaction of having like new knowledge, right? And it's the same way in this case, right? They have the reaction. There's going to be a reaction as opposed to learning something. Well, Roe v. Wade was overturned, right? And now
So it's reactionary to the overturning of Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, it's reactionary. That's what's going to be
the wait. So doesn't that actually prove my point more? Because your whole point is the effect of the overturning of Roe.
Yeah.
Your whole argument was the effect of the overturning of Roe versus Wade would lead to less abortions. Do you agree?
Yes, it would lead to, right? There's going to be a decrease in the number.
So are you saying in the future or not now?
Yes, that's a trajectory towards it. Because
okay, wait. So, and what evidence do you have that that's happening?
Oh my God, I don't think you understand. So
wait. So what evidence do you have that that's happening?
By comparing the first 4 years of it being put into place, which you have not been tracking this entire time, because you kept gibberating like. No,
I actually gave you. I gave you a source that references that.
You didn't. I literally
yes, the
just
KFF.
told you how there's
I told you where
more abortions.
We
right?
compared the number of abortions between April.
Overturning.
This guy is like actually genuinely stupid. We're comparing April 2022.
Argument. We said, oh, well,
okay, if you cut me off one more time, I'm just going to kick you from the live. I'm speaking right now because I'm demonstrating something that you completely have lied about. I already went over data with you. I literally told you between April 2022, right, and June 2025. Okay, that's literally within the time slot of time that you were asking for, was it not?
No. So I said so when I was making the analysis, right? The analysis was we're making a relation between an identical set of time, right? In this case, what was the amount of years that we were referencing? 4 years.
Are you trying to say 4 years prior and 4 years after?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
That's an identical set of time.
Okay, well, no, because I just told you that there's going to be distinction, and you agreed with it, right? I just told you there's going to be some sort of reaction that's going to happen from like those two distinct points because it's happening right after the other. And then you decided and you conceded on that point, and now you're over here jargoning about something else. All right? Why are you nodding your head? You realize that you lost. Anyways, can you please mute up like a good little boy as I absolutely embarrass you in front of all your fans? Anyways, when we look at the first 4 years of Roe v. Wade being put into place, as opposed to the first 4 years after its overturning, yeah, I can agree with you that there probably wasn't a larger number of abortions, right? Even if there wasn't, let's just grant that it was. I don't even think it was, right? But let's say there is more abortions, and the number is going to be less than the amount of, let's say, like if the population increase is vastly larger than the amount of abortions that happened, right? Then we can make some sort of analysis if we use the cardinality of the number of women that existed, right? And then the amount of time frame, we're going to invoke that. We're going to say the first 4 years. We're comparing the 4 years. We're making a relation between the two things, right? Hopefully you're tracking, right? We're going to say the number of abortions that happened as opposed to the number of women that exist, right? Do you know how to do set theory and probability? So in set theory, the way that you find probability is going to be a subset of the original set over the set itself. Do you agree with that?
2018 to 2022, there was a decrease in the amount of abortions.
Exactly.
2018 to 2022, there was a
2018
to 2022, there was a decrease in the amount of abortions, going from 620 million to or 620,000. Sorry,
you just said it again. I just debunked this point. I just told you. Why do you keep saying the same thing? I just told you.
So between 2018 to 2022, there was a decrease in the level of abortions. It went from 620,000 to 613,000. But between 2022 to 2025, we actually saw an increase in the amount of abortions happening from a monthly basis.
Are you
so
tracking?
we went from seeing a decrease in the amount of abortions prior to the overturning of Roe versus Wade to an increase in the amount of abortions after Roe versus Wade is overturned. You just said we could make that comparison based upon those particular years, the 4 years prior versus the 4 years after.
Because there's
and based upon that analysis.
Right? And I just told you.
Okay, I can't have a conversation with this guy. I'm just going to go to the next person. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? How old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah.
I'm 31, big dog.
And do you support Trump?
Yeah, but you invited me up here. I didn't want to come in here. I'm making dinner.
Oh, I mean, you said in the chat that you think that he beat me on those points.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It sounds like you wanted to debate if you accepted the request. So why do you support Trump?
I support Trump because of people like you and Dean that act like you're so entitled and you're better than everybody else. Just like that dude. You're if he's talking, why can't you just let him finish his thought or whatever? You want to go ahead and go, oh, you're cutting me off. You're cutting me off when he's actually a smart person that is giving you facts and stuff like that.
So I actually did let him finish his thoughts, and then he didn't let me finish, and that's why I said he was interrupting me.
No, I get that. But again, when he was in the middle of talking and you look something up on your computer, and you're like, actually, it was 600,000 and blah, blah, blah. He was still talking. So you actually did cut him off.
Yeah, so that was actually him cutting me off after I started bringing that up, because I waited for him to be done, and then I brought that up, and then he started cutting me off. So I think you might have joined the live at a weird time, or you weren't listening because you were cooking.
I mean, maybe, possibly, bro. Again, I do respect you two a lot, but when it comes down to people like that and people that actually have a good opinion and know what they're actually talking about,
He doesn't.
because again,
I already disputed what he was talking about. His whole argument for why he supports Trump is because he reduced the level of abortions. Right? I said, okay, what evidence do you have that he reduced the level of abortions? He said the per capita level of abortions has gone down since Roe versus Wade has been overturned. I disproved that by showing that the per capita level of abortion has increased. Therefore, his argument would then conclude that actually Donald Trump's policies have led to more abortions happening. Therefore, he doesn't support Trump.
Okay. Well, again, I was in the middle of cooking, so I maybe didn't get the whole thing. Your camera just went out, just to let you know.
I know.
Okay. But yeah, maybe I didn't get the whole thing. Just where I came in, it kind of seemed like you guys were both on fire and you guys were both kind of, putting each other's foot on each other's neck and stuff like that. I feel like when you have a good conversation with somebody that sounds smart and intellectual or intellect, I can't even say it. I'm too lit. But yeah, I would just let them talk. That way you can get your point across, because I know a lot of people have said
Respectfully, I have
feel-
these debates all the time. Of course I know this. I feel like you're telling me or stating the obvious. Of course I want to hear someone's position before I respond to
but
it.
you don't
I think
do
I
it.
did.
But
I did.
you don't do it.
I did.
No, you didn't.
You just didn't pay attention to the conversation. You can watch the conversation back later on YouTube, and you'll see that I actually did listen to the argument prior to responding to it, and I understand the argument prior to responding to it, and that's why I just explained the argument to you better than you could explain the argument to me, because I know more about the conversation I was just having than you know about it. And I did listen to them. You can't just tell me I didn't listen to them when I actively speaking just had the conversation, and I know the conversation that I was having. By the way, you're cutting me off while I'm speaking.
You just did that when I was speaking about 30 seconds ago. I was still talking and you cut me off saying, oh, I did. He understood what I was saying, blah, 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 blah. You cut me off too. See, this is exactly what I'm saying, where you're so like entitled, bro. You think that it's like, oh, it's all about me. It's all about me. Like, bro, you got to let other people talk as well. Again, you can go back in the VOD and fucking check it. Again, you guys are both cutting each other off. And sorry, I had a thought or a comment that I needed
and that's
to
why
say. Again,
I already disputed what he was talking about. His whole argument for why he supports Trump.
That I feel like when you have a good conversation with somebody that sounds smart and intellectual or intellect, I can't even say it. I'm too lit. But yeah, I would just let them talk. That way you can get your point across, because I know a lot of people have said
Respectfully,
it.
I have these debates all the time. Of course I know. You are right. I did cut you off. I apologize.
You didn't. Yeah. No worries, man. Again, it happened. You guys are debating and stuff like that. No problem. But that is just what I'm trying to get to. So,
Jesus Christ, why is this cut out?
Again, it's no hate to you. It's no hate to the other guy. It's just, I feel like when you're having a good conversation with somebody that they seem like they know what they're talking about, you just gotta let them finish.
Hey man, I don't know why you keep repeating that. Genuinely, at this point, I don't understand. Why do you keep repeating this?
Because you and Dean both do it, and then
I've already responded to this.
You guys whine and complain about it. That's why.
Hey dude, I listen to people's arguments, I understand their arguments, and then I respond to them. I think I did that in that last conversation. If there are points in that conversation where I interrupt people, that's how conversations work. You've done that within the conversation with me so far. Okay, so I just want to clarify, you are completely okay with there being some level of interruption. Okay, I don't think you have an issue with that. I think this is virtue signaling and irrelevant, and I actually think that this isn't evidence of me being entitled or a reason why you should support Trump. Me interrupting people has no effect on whether or not you should support Trump. That's ridiculous, okay? You cannot say Parker acted a certain way, therefore I'm not going to vote for Democrats, because Parker is not a Democrat running for political office. Secondly, you overlook all of the horrible actions, interruptions, and terrible things that Trump does, right? And you completely overlook those things. That's not relevant, but Parker, the way he acts is relevant. That's incoherent. Thank you for the meteor
No, it's
shower.
just people like you. But here, I do have one thing that I have heard you talk about. Can we talk about the dressing room
What
just for a
people?
quick second?
Wait, I'm sorry. Before you do, what people?
I just stated people like you and Dean and stuff like that.
Yeah, people who are not in the position of political office, people who are not running for politics, people who are not relevant to the running for the president of the United States.
Wait, so when you have some MAGA person coming up on here and you're like, "Oh, it's MAGA, it's MAGA," like, what are you trying to say when that comes about? Like, yeah, it's that group of people that support one side or the other that are just absolutely like insufferable to talk to. It's like it's so hard to get across or like talk to somebody. And it's just like when you hear somebody that's MAGA or like old people, or when Matt's even on here, he's like, "Oh, how many cigarettes did you smoke? You're a Marble Red smoker. You've been doing that for 40 years. MAGA." Like it's stuff exactly like that, man. Come on.
So by the way,
hate
your whole
there you go.
argument
You
is here
interrupted.
is that people are rude. Some Democrats are rude. Therefore, I'm not going to be a Democrat. Are Republicans rude? Are some Republicans rude? Yes.
I'm sure.
So that's not an argument to be Republican or Democrat, because then your whole argument would be that you're against everyone, because there's people of every single political ideology that are rude. Again, this is a horrible argument. Why are you arguing this?
Okay, well, take a deep breath. I already told you what I wanted to talk about. You're getting all fired up for no fucking reason, dude. Jesus Christ. I wanted
I'm
to
just
talk
saying
to
it's
you.
incoherent.
You're getting all loud and you're yelling and your eyes are all bulging out and shit like that. Calm down, bro. One thing I wanted
If you
to
think
talk to
this
you
is
about.
yelling, I'm sorry, but you're just being
Oh my
ridiculous.
God.
Like, dude, you're being such a snowflake. Holy shit, man. I'm not yelling at you right now. What the fuck are you talking about? Me saying the fuck and me speaking with a little bit of passion is not yelling.
Yeah, if you want to call that passion, bro. Are we going to talk about what I've already tried to bring up a couple times, or?
If do you want to like legitimately respond to any of my actual arguments, you should concede, because that was a horrible argument. You said that you don't support Democrats because there are some Democrats that are rude.
No, I feel like there is more on one side that are more entitled and like, you don't think about me, or you have some support for this person, so you're a piece of shit, or I'm not going to be
Isn't that what
friends
Trump
with you
says?
because you.
So why do you support Trump? Trump says that leftists are and left-wing people are
finish my
lunatics,
thought.
pieces of shit, and that he hates them.
Holy fuck, dude. This is exactly what I'm trying to get to, because now you're doing it to me. I'm trying to finish a fucking thought and I can get 3 words out and all of a sudden, like, bro, take a fucking chill pill. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
How about you respond to a single thing that I say?
I was literally just trying to, and you cut me off, so I fucking spaced out. So
Okay.
I don't, yeah. So let's go back to the thing that I actually did
Okay,
want to talk
I'll
about.
wait for you to be done in 2 minutes. I'll ask you this question, and then I'll have you not respond to it. Yeah, that's good. That sounds more productive.
So can I ask the question or no?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's take 30 minutes to be able to get to the point that I was just asking you, that would have already happened if you didn't crash out.
Now I'm crashing out.
Yes, you actually are.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the whole dressing room thing. And
You're
him
again
going
pivoting
back there.
from the whole point that I was just mentioning. We can talk about that in a second. Can we finish pointing to the fact that you said that you wouldn't support Democrats because some Democrats are like this? Then the whole point you tried to then pivot to was, oh, proportionally there are more Democrats that are egotistical, entitled, and rude. Okay, well, do you have any evidence to support that, or is it just a general feeling that you have?
I mean, it's anecdote or whatever. It's my own personal experiences, because maybe I'm a Republican, so I don't have that many bad experiences with Republicans. But when the girls with the blue hair and the septum rings and they're all fucking crazy, and it's like, oh my god, I'm freaking out. You don't support what I support. It's just ridiculous. So again, it's gonna be a standstill right there. It's a cat's game. Like, but plain and simple. Again, I see more bad on the left. You might see more bad on the right. And I'm not even talking about Trump or anybody like that. I'm just talking about the actual parties. And I see more bad on the left. I don't know what else you want me to say or go to about that. Like,
Yeah, so that's not the way to actually identify whether or not there's a certain level of violence or there's a certain level of hate or a certain level of people who are rude. How you empirically test that is not just saying anecdotal experiences, because it can be heavily biased to you, right? Like, for example, what you said, right, that you are going to have more people that are liberal that will probably be negative towards me, towards you comparative to what I would, right? For example, like the liberals are great towards me. Why? Because I'm also liberal, right? I'm not going to see that sort of response negatively in the same sort of way because there's not as much political bias. And obviously, when there's more political distinction, there's going to be more rude behavior that's targeted between members of opposing political ideologies comparative to those of the same political ideology. That's, of course, going to be understood. As I could say that there are more people on the right that have been incredibly rude and mean to me comparative to people on the left. Hell, for Dean, someone came up and spit in his face because he disagrees with him on the internet. That's the only reason. So, like, I can point to real world examples.
I know.
But the point I'm making is that, like, I mean, the whole argument that you're making is extremely biased and hyper specific to your experiences and does not actually reflect overall the entirety of everything within our society. When you claim that overall people are more rude and entitled to you or something, that's not a reason to be against an ideological belief. That's a reason to say that you disagree with those people or you disagree with how they conduct themselves, but not a reason to say that a certain ideological belief is wrong.
But isn't that what we're going off as personal experiences? Like, isn't, because again, to be honest, yeah, it would be cool to feed all the children in the whole entire world and stuff like that. But am I more worried about feeding my children and my family? 100%. Yeah. So it goes off of all personal experiences and stuff like that. At least in my brain, it does. Because I'm not sitting there worrying about what somebody in Minnesota is doing when I got my own shit going on.
One, there are more people fed under a Democratic administration. Two, the economy would be better off for everyone, including yourself. You'd be better off if Democrats were in office, economically speaking, right? Because of the fact that the tariffs wouldn't have been imposed and we would have inflation below pre-pandemic levels. We wouldn't have had the Iran war, so we wouldn't have gas prices going through the roof. We'd have higher GDP growth and higher real median wage growth. We'd have better conditions practically across the entire economy, so that would positively impact you. So I'm not claiming. I'm not claiming myself. I'm not claiming myself that liberals are nicer to me. Therefore, I'm a liberal. Conservatives are more mean to me. Therefore, I'm liberal. That's not my argument, right? It would be a bit like this ideological belief is right because it has this impact on society. Not people that hold these particular ideological views are rude or mean to me. I think that's an incredibly bad way to analyze the intellectual basis of a view.
I mean, yes and no, because again, I go off of what affects me personally, and if everything is going good when Republicans are in office, then hey, I'm not going to complain about making a couple extra bucks. Like that doesn't make any sense to me on why I wouldn't be okay with that.
Yeah, but things have gotten worse off since Trump got in office. So if you care about what impacts you personally, things that impact you personally are worse off right now because of Trump.
But like what? I've made more money and stuff
Gas
like
prices, right? Unemployment's worse off. We had the worst year of job growth in the past 4 years. We saw reductions in real domestic manufacturing investment, or lower real GDP growth in 2025 as compared to 2024, lower real median wage growth in 2025 as compared to 2024. Inflation has gone up, which causes grocery prices to go up. Utility bills have gone up. You can point to countless things in the economy that's significantly worse off since Trump got in office.
Not for me. Again, my utilities stay within $100. They've stayed within $100.
That's a big
the past
distinction.
10 years. $100 a month? I mean, you make a lot of money, bro. You can't tell me that that's a lot of money if you're paying an extra, maybe what? 200 times 12 is what? 240? An extra 240 a year for everything changing in the world?
Oh, you said for a yearly
down?
basis? Are you saying overall?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying a monthly.
Well, let's just say it goes up $20 a month. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's over $200. So that's a lot.
I just said 240.
Yeah, that's a lot for the working class people. For working class people, that has a real impact on people's lives. Yeah, utility bills. Yeah.
Let's be real. $240 for a whole entire year is a lot.
That's just for utilities. That's on top of every other thing that is going up in price.
Bro, do you not understand everything goes up?
You just want to lose an extra $200 for no reason? Then send me $200 right now.
Do you see how arrogant
200
you are?
bucks, not a big problem for you. Send it.
Aren't you complaining about kids with no food, but you want me to send you money? Why wouldn't you send it to a food bank or something like
Do
that?
that.
You
Do
see
it.
how ridiculous
Then do
you
it.
are?
Then do it.
Okay, I will, bro.
Do
I'll
it.
send it right after right after I get off the phone. I'll go on my computer and I'll send $500 to a food bank.
Okay,
You want
perfect.
me to send you a picture of that after? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't make that in, let's just be generous. If you don't make that within 3-4 days, then you should probably find another job. Because an
But you
extra
understand that's on top of
$220
everything
for a
else. That's still
year
like
is
giving up
ridiculous.
3-4 days of labor is a lot to give up. Giving up 2 days of labor is a lot to give up just for a utility bill, my guy. On top of everything.
For
On
a
top
whole
of
year?
wait.
So
But
you
that's
work
on
3
top of the
days
already.
and then
Hey,
giving
dude, listen. Let me please finish. That's on
See,
top of the
you cut me
utility bill
off.
that already existed. So it's just another $200 going down the drain.
Okay, well,
you know
then
that
some people might need to
most
cut
Americans are
cable.
living
Cut your
paycheck to paycheck
cable.
and cannot afford a random $400 expense. So
If you
just
can't
taking into
afford
consideration
food or
this
water
one
or
thing, they can't afford
electricity,
that.
cut your
Let alone
fucking
the fact that
cable.
it's actually $1,500 a year that people have lost out on because of the tariffs being implemented.
$1,500 a year. I don't know where they're getting their products or their manufacturer from, but I haven't lost anything.
So just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean that you haven't lost.
Because I haven't seen it and my rates haven't gone up or down. It's been the same price for the past 7 years?
Prices have gone up. You're just like not actually looking at the Bureau of Labor Statistics information. You're not categorizing everything overall, and you're not going to identify only a few percentage distinction because you probably aren't really looking at the details that specifically.
I mean, I'm the one that goes through it and does everything, but I mean, I guess I don't have a secretary or anything like that.
Well, then let me clarify something with
Receptionist.
you. Like, I don't think that just because you don't understand that there's a distinction, that means that's also true for the rest of the country. And also, for you to make the claim that you only care about what impacts you personally and you don't give a shit about what impacts the rest of the country kind of shows that you're not very patriotic. Like, seriously, like conservatives claim that they're so patriotic, they love their country so very much. But again, the tax bill comes around and then they lose their patrioticness, right? They're not patriotic anymore.
What comes around? Sorry.
The tax bill. And then they're not patriotic anymore. They don't love their country enough.
I get more money under Trump. I don't know what you're talking about, brother.
It's like he doesn't want to respond to what I just said.
My taxes are less because of how much I make, so I get more money back.
Your taxes are more expensive now because of Trump, because he imposed tariffs.
Well, then why did I get back more this year than I did last year, or the year before that, or the year before that?
We were under Trump's tax policy under the prior years.
Okay, but
why'd you get more money back? Because you overpaid.
No,
That's what tax refunds are. You overpaid, my guy.
Well, hey, I got a bunch back, so I'm chilling on that.
Yeah,
so,
which means you just calculated wrong on your taxes and you overpaid.
I don't do my taxes. Somebody does them.
Yeah, and they calculated your taxes wrong based on the estimates, and you overpaid slightly.
Okay, well, I got more back, so I'm not going to complain. Cool.
Dude, it's like these people can't even think, dude. Like, holy shit. You didn't get more back because of Trump's policies. You got more back because you accidentally overpaid. That's not complicated.
I just said cool. I didn't say, oh, thank you, Trump, for lowering my taxes now. I didn't say that after you just said
That's what it sounds like, though.
Assuming makes an ass out of you and an ass out of me.
No, it doesn't. We assume things all the time. Stop acting like assuming things is never relevant or never useful. You assume things based upon evidence.
All right, yeah. So can we talk about the whole dressing room thing now, or?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
All right. So I just got a couple quick questions for you. Then, so the whole thing is he went in there, quote unquote, while they were changing, right?
Yeah.
And you said that they had no clothes on, or he said that they had no clothes on, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys say that they're naked, quote unquote, right?
Yeah, when you have no clothes on, that means you're naked. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So like let's just say when let's say child, when my kid was running around at 2-3 years old, in a diaper and I say, hey, you're naked right now. Like you're naked. Are they fully naked just running around? Like, do you not think that there is some kind of leniency right there where it's like, yeah, obviously when you see somebody
I honestly didn't
changing,
listen or pay attention to the context you just provided. I genuinely thought it was just like I got caught off guard. I thought it was weird. I'm specifically I'm saying that when he says they had no clothes on, that means that they're naked, and that means they had no clothes on.
so again, when let's just say my wife is in the kitchen and she's got her bra and underwear on doing her dishes, I say, go put some clothes on. Am I talking about putting her underwear and
Would
bra
you
on
would you
and stuff?
describe your wife in that scenario to have no clothes on?
Yeah, I would say, hey, you're naked right now. You know what I mean?
You would
You're
not
naked.
describe like in a literal sense that she had no clothes on. You're being ridiculous. So let me ask you a question. Do you think when your wife goes to the beach, she goes there with no clothes on?
Do I think when my wife goes to the beach, she has no clothes on?
Yeah, like when she wears a
No,
bikini.
no, because again, there's a time and
What's
a
the
place
relevant
for where
distinction?
they're at. But if you would let me finish, yeah, I'm trying to talk, and you're like,
I understand.
this is what I'm talking about, man.
Hey, dude, there
So
was a little bit of
if
delay. I know you're gonna
okay,
cry and complain, but there was just a little bit of delay.
I like how you like to call names and stuff like that, but then when somebody throws a slur at you, it's like, oh my god, a slur, a slur, a
Yeah, I do.
slur.
I do kick people for slurs. But
Like,
what did I say there that was wrong?
let it
I
play.
said you're being a crybaby. You are. There was
Because I'm
literally a
laughing
little
at
bit
you
of
being
there was a little bit of
ridiculous.
delay, and you crashed out over me having a little bit of delay in saying it when it literally just you were trying to speak a little bit early.
I was trying to speak early, so is there a
Yes.
time when I should speak? Like what?
Yeah, in a
Like
debate, there's times where I speak and there's times where you speak.
and I was still speaking, and I finished my sentence, and there was a pause, and I was finished speaking, but I'm speaking early. No, you're ridiculous, dude. You cut me off, and that's the end of it. Like what? Nobody's
You can watch
crashing
that
out
back later. I
over.
just told you there was a little bit of delay, and apparently you can't accept that.
Hey, just like earlier when I could watch it back later, and you played it, and you cut me off, and you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're right." Yeah,
Yeah, and
exactly.
I admit when I'm wrong, but you can't.
Okay, well, play it back.
What's up?
I said play it back.
I'm not going to go back and play it back for no reason.
Oh, but you wanted to play back the other one because you thought you were right. Gotcha.
I'll
So,
play it back if
anyways,
you really
when
want. What do you?
somebody goes to
I'll
the
play it back
beach,
because you're just. I honestly don't
oh
like you.
my god,
You said you want me to play it back. So
go for
do you want me to play it back? Yes or no?
it. Am I your handler now? Do I tell you what to do?
All right, I'll play it.
Cool.
Dude, it's like these people can't even think, dude. Like holy shit. You
They,
didn't get
didn't
more
think
back
past
because
is
of Trump's
wrong.
policies. You got more back because
I
you
never
accidentally
said
overpaid.
there where it's like, yeah, obviously when you see somebody
I honestly didn't
changing,
listen or pay attention to the context you just provided. I genuinely thought it was just like I got caught off guard. I thought it was
cut me
weird.
off.
I'm specifically I'm saying that when he says they had no clothes on, that means that they're naked, and that means they had no clothes on.
So again, when
Whoa, it's not playing. Sorry, I need to refresh. It literally stopped playing right there. Give me a quick second. Because we have to go through this because the guest is such a child. So just give it a second, everyone. Describe your wife in that scenario to have no clothes on.
yeah, I would say, hey, you're naked right now. You know what I mean?
You would
You're
not
naked.
describe like in a literal sense that she had no clothes on. You're being ridiculous. So let me ask you a question. Do you think when your wife goes to the beach, she goes there with no clothes on?
Do I think when my wife goes to the beach, she has no clothes on?
Yeah, like when she wears a
No,
bikini.
no, because again, there's a time
What's
and a
the
place
relevant
for where
distinction?
they're at. But if you would let me finish, right there, I'm trying to right there.
Yeah, I'm confused how that was like not a part of the conversation. Like holy shit.
You
You didn't
asked
get
me
more
a
back because of
question and I was
baby.
responding and
You
you cut
are.
me off. Well, what's the
Listen,
relevant distinction?
there was
Because I was
literally a
laughing
little
at
bit
you
of
being ridiculous?
delay, and you crashed out over me having a little bit of delay.
No, because again, there's a time
What's
and a
the
place
relevant
for where
distinction?
they're at.
Means that they're naked, and that means they had no clothes on.
So again, when let's just say my wife is in the kitchen and she's got her bra and underwear on doing her dishes, I say, go put some clothes on. Am I talking about putting her underwear and bra
Would
on
you
and stuff?
describe your wife in that scenario
This was a
to have
cough.
no clothes on?
Yeah, I would say, hey, you're naked right now. You know what I mean?
You would
You're
not
naked.
describe, like, in a literal sense that she had no clothes on. You're being ridiculous. So let me ask you a question. Do you think when your wife goes to the beach, she goes there with no clothes on?
Do I think when my wife goes to the beach, she has no clothes on?
Yeah, like when she wears a bikini.
No, because again, there's a time
What's
and a
the
place
relevant
for where
distinction?
they're at. But if you would let me finish, yeah, I'm trying to talk.
Yeah, I mean, you could try to say that that's an interruption, but I feel like that was before you even started your point.
I was talking before you cut me off, saying what's the relative distinction?
Yeah, but I feel like that was me still kind of continuing the original point that I was making, and
Okay, sure, man.
I
Again, I'm
don't think
not
it
gonna.
was like me in the middle of your statement that you already had started, then just cutting you off. It was me continuing it before you had even started your point.
Well, you asked me a question, and then you finished, and then I went to respond, and then you said something after. So usually, when people ask a question, they wait for the response. Again, I don't really care, bro. This is a TikTok debate live or whatever, so it's not that
So can you
serious.
respond?
And yes, well, so the relative distinction or whatever is going to be there's a time and a place on where they're at and what they're wearing. If somebody is wearing a bikini and they walk into a mall, is that not a little bit fucking weird?
Oh yeah, I mean you could say that it is, but like the point wouldn't be
Okay.
that they had no clothes on. The point would be that they had a bikini
Uh,
on. You wouldn't describe
no,
the action that they
no,
engaged in
no,
as
no.
they
I would.
walked into the mall with no clothes on. You wouldn't say that.
If somebody walked in with one of those thong bikinis and a little fucking top, and they were walking by me and my family, I would go, "Wow, this lady's got no fucking clothes on. What is she doing? Put some clothes on." That is what I would say. I wouldn't say that she's naked or anything like that. Or I want to go, oh, she's wearing a bikini. It's
Okay,
just like if you see somebody on the side of the street wearing underwear, you're not gonna be like, oh, he's naked, but you're gonna say, put some fucking clothes on, dude. What are you doing?
wait, you just conceded. You just conceded that you're not going to say that they had no clothes on, but you are going to say that they should put more clothes on or something. So you did demonstrate the point. Secondly, like the point that I would at least broadly make is that the sense that he's bringing up is he's saying that there are no men around, that it's an area where they're changing. He's getting away with looking at their bodies. He said that they had no clothes on, and he said that they're changing. And then also victims came out and said that Donald Trump barged in while they were changing and had no clothes on. So it's like, I mean, I gave you explicit conditions in which indicate that this is true, right? And it's not just like some vague statement that someone's making where they're like, in a non-literal sense saying that someone is naked or something, right? This is like, the context is literal because we have corresponding evidence to indicate it to be true.
Gotcha. And now, do you have any video proof or anything like that of the witnesses coming out that they were underage or whatever? Anything like that?
Yeah, we have articles of them coming out and talking about these things. And yeah,
Can you put
there
it on
are
the screen real
videos of
quick?
them speaking. But I'd have to go find them right now. I don't have them access to them right now. I'd have to go find them.
All right. No worries. Well, I mean, again, it's just the whole being naked thing or not having any clothes on is just a little that is my only thing. Again, where he says that there's no men around, maybe it's because at that time, I'm gonna say this like as nice as possible, but usually there's, you know, dudes of the LGBT, you know, like maybe people that are gay that are like chaperones and stuff like that back there. Maybe at that time there really wasn't it wasn't that popular, so that there was no dudes around. But again, I don't know the full context behind it.
Yeah, if someone's gay and they're walking to the changing rooms of naked individuals without their consent, that's still wrong. Okay?
So if
Like,
one of the
you understand that
contestants
someone's
is,
sexuality doesn't make sexual exploitation good. What?
no, I didn't say that's good at all. What?
Yeah, if you're going into the changing rooms against people's consent,
I
that's
said
like
a chaperone. I didn't say for
there was
some
no men
dude to
around.
walk.
According to Donald Trump, there was no men around.
But That's my point. I didn't say that it's okay for a gay dude, straight, fucking whatever. Either way, it's not okay for any dude to walk backstage to any women, whether it's underage or not. But I'm just saying, maybe he was saying that because there was no other guys. Because again, was there other women, other chaperone women, or
That wasn't clarified on, and the victims didn't indicate that that was true.
they didn't clarify that what was true? That there was no
Trump
women.
didn't
They
clarify
didn't.
that within his statement, and the victims didn't say that that was true.
Well, yeah, Trump wouldn't say that. He's trying to be top dog. Obviously, he's not going to say, "Oh, there was other women back there, but I went back there." He wants to be
Regardless
the
of whether or
top
not there are
dog.
other women back there, doesn't change whether or not this is sexual exploitation.
Yeah. See, again, I just don't know if it was a change room or not, and that's the only thing that I don't.
Can you describe to me a
Because
changing room without saying changing room?
can I describe a changing room without saying changing room? I mean, I don't know.
Like, tell me what a changing room is without explicitly saying the term changing room.
A room to change in? Like, bro, I don't.
So
I
people are
don't know.
changing there. Some people are naked, right? Some people don't have clothes on or are changing clothes. There are no men around. We're in a women's changing room, right? And if Trump were to go in, he'd be quote unquote getting away with it.
But again, do you think that women would just be changing in an open room with a bunch of other people getting naked?
Backstage, no men around. Trump gets away with going back in these areas. That's clearly a changing room. It's describing what a changing room is without specifically saying the term changing room.
Well, so again, you don't think that any of these women could have had underwear or like panties or whatever or bra on or anything like that. You think that they were
Oh,
completely
let me
naked, right?
clarify. Some of them did. Right? According to this, some of them did. Trump is just claiming that he would go in there when some of them were naked and getting dressed. That's what he said, naked and getting dressed.
You said naked and getting dressed?
Yeah, they were getting
Word for
dressed
word?
and that they had no clothes on. Jesus Christ, dude. Holy fuck, dude. It's like these guys, like, in order to try to defend Trump's behavior, they have to just, like, fucking bend themselves in pretzels. It's fucking crazy, dude. Why are you doing this? How does this benefit your country? Like, what do you get out of doing this?
I'm talking to another human being. Like there's nobody else here and stuff like that. I'm trying to pick your brain and see where you're coming from.
No,
Is
but what
that
do you
not
get out of
okay?
defending
Like I
Trump
don't.
is what I'm saying.
I'm trying to have an educational conversation with you, bro. Again, I'm trying to pick your brain and see everything that you fucking know. Like, oh my god, what are you doing for your country? Oh my god, like you sound like a fucking female, dog. Calm down.
Okay, so
I'm
again, you just
literally
tried to
just
insult me
fucking
by
talking to
saying that
you.
I'm a woman. That's literally how you just tried to insult me. So this is why
Oh
we
my
have an
god,
issue
oh my
here,
god,
or where we're
God
coming into
forbid
an
you
impasse,
called
where
me
we
a
can't
jerk.
actually intellectually engage,
Jesus
is because you
Christ.
literally are just a misogynistic
You're
POS. You
ridiculous.
literally just used woman as an insult.
Now I'm misogynist.
Yes, you
Yes,
used
yeah,
woman as an insult. That's
because you're a
misogynistic.
man and you're acting like a bitch. Yes,
Yeah, and then you
you're
also just
right. Yeah.
so by the way, you just tried to refer to
Oh my
women
God, you
by
just said
using the
women.
fucking B slur, by the way. You literally just did that, right, towards women. So yeah, you are a misogynistic piece of shit because you just used woman as an insult and then just tried to refer to women using the B word.
Oh my God, bro. Do you know what a B is? Do you know what the B
Yes.
word is? Since you're not
Yes, I
allowed to
do,
say that,
obviously.
since it's a slur. Do you
Yeah.
know what that even
Yeah,
means?
when you use it against woman as a man, that's a slur. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah. Just like earlier today when somebody was on live and somebody said, did you hear of that chick? And Santana's like, did you just address a female as a chick? It's like somebody
A
calling
woman.
somebody a dude. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, like
It's
you should say
natural
woman instead.
language.
Yeah, of course. But like, can you address this? You just used woman as an insult, and then you just used the B word, right? Specifically against women, right? So then, do you want to engage with that?
Do I want to engage with what?
Yeah, do you want to engage
bitch?
with the fact that that's misogyny?
That is not misogyny.
It absolutely is misogyny. Can you tell me what misogyny
No, it's
is?
not.
What is misogyny?
What the degrading of women or whatever you guys want to call it, right?
Okay, that is absolutely degrading women.
Oh,
Then.
there we go.
Based upon
Yeah.
your definition, that's degrading
it's
women.
not. I'm talking to you.
Calling them the B word and then also literally trying to insult me
Calling
using
them
the
a
word
B-word,
woman
calling
is
you a
absolutely degrading women. You're trying to say to be a woman is to be
calling
insulted.
you a B word or calling them a B word? I called you a bitch.
No,
I didn't call
you said
women
that
a
about
bitch.
women. Because you said I was acting like a woman, right? And then you tried to say that I was acting like the B word, right? That's what you were trying to say.
Yeah,
That's what the
I said
association that you were
acting
making.
like a female because you are acting like a whiny little bitch. Yeah.
There you go. That's quite literally you referring to women as the B word because you're quite literally trying to use them interchangeably there. I'm sorry that you're not tracking and that you literally have an incapability of using your fucking brain cells.
You're being a fucking snowflake now.
You're being such a snow.
Oh my
dude, I'm calling out your behavior. I'm calling out your behavior, and you're such a snowflake that you can't even take accountability for the fact that it was fucked up.
Do you see why I support Trump more than I support the Democrats? Because
No.
it's people like you that are like,
it's
oh
people
my
like
God,
you
you're
that call me out for my horrible behavior. Oh my God, Parker, how could you call me out for my misogyny, Parker? I vote for Republicans because Parker and Democrats, they call me out for my misogyny.
You said bitch. You said bitch. That's a bitch.
Yeah, I call you out for your misogyny, for the fucking horrible shit that you say, and you're mad that I call you out for the horrible shit you say, and you want to sit there and continue to say horrible shit to women. Yeah, I'm going to call out what you said. Why? Because I care about women. It's not complicated. You can sit there and act like that all you want. All that demonstrates to us is that you're a whiny little fucking man-child that has a temper tantrum because he hates women. Well, because are you saying I'm better than you? When you call me a woman, that just all you're saying is that I'm better than you.
Yeah. Yep.
Or are you trying to say that you're sexually attracted to me? Which one is it?
You said that you're calling me a bitch.
Are you trying to say that I'm better than you, or are you trying to say that you're sexually attracted to me? Which one is it?
I don't know. You should calm down. Your eyes are bugging and your lazy eyes going
crazy. You said that I'm a woman. Are you attracted to women? Are you sexually attracted to women?
Your lazy eyes going crazy.
Hey, Box. Are you sexually attracted to women?
Am I what? Sexually attracted to women?
Yes.
I don't know why you're asking me about my sexuality. Isn't that kind of weird being another man?
No.
Come on, big dog. Come
on,
brother.
I'm asking you a question.
You walk around the streets asking people if they're sexually attracted to so-and-so? Like,
no, I don't. What? No, I don't. But I'm asking you right now. Holly, think of the galaxy. Can you answer the question?
What do you want me to answer? If
Are you sexually attracted to women?
This is... See, I can't say that word. I can't...
Are you straight, dude? I'm just asking you a basic question. Are you straight?
This is how I know that you're not smart, because I already said that I was married.
Yeah,
again,
but... Okay, so the answer is yes.
I know that you're not smart.
You know that there are gay men that are married to women, right, because of society, right? I just want to clarify. Secondly, you can also be bi and be married to a woman. Okay? So... I'm asking if you are sexually attracted to women because it sounds like when you say that I'm a woman that you're just saying that you're sexually attracted to me. Is that what it is?
It sounds like you might be a part of the LGBT HDMI community, brother.
It sounds like you just can't memorize basic things. So no, I'm not a part of the LGBTQ+ community. I don't know why you're getting that out of what you just said there. I'm saying, like, if you're calling me a woman, are you saying that you're sexually attracted to me? I'm asking you a clarifying question, and you won't respond. Okay, well, while he figures out how to unmute himself, I'm going to thank some people real quick.
Is that right?
Sarah, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much, Sarah. I really appreciate it. This guy is such an arrogant, uneducated, hypocritical D. Absolutely. He's so cringe. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $25. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Give W's for Elizabeth in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. The excuses for Trump are absolutely insane. And actually, I haven't seen it yet, but I think I've heard about some clips of it. So I'll have to go make sure to check it out. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Nicole, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that guy was so absurd. Holly as well, thank you for the $20. Thank you very much. Megan, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Christian, thank you so much for the $5. And Joe, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. As well as Holly again with the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for this guy's absolutely misogynist. And you dog walked him expertly. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Samaya, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Aw, thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Nanavan, thank you so much for the $34. Thank you very much I really appreciate it. Thank you. He said, you are not rude, Parker. MAGAs are dumb. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. As well as Robin, thank you so much for the $30. 30 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much on PayPal. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I know they misuse statistics and math all the time for their false sense of legitimacy. It's actually absurd. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Some W's for them in the comment section, as well as Ross. Thank you for the $10. Dorian, thank you so much for the $2. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. And then Mineralogy, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Thank you very much. Can we get some W's for them in the comment section right now? I really appreciate it. Thank you. I know, right? As well as Trey, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, as always. We're pretty close to 2,000 likes, everyone, just letting y'all know. As well as Matt, thank you for the $2, by the way. Trey, thank you for the $5 twice. Thank you very much. Steph, thank you for the $20. Thank you very much. Trey, thank you for the $2 and for the $5. Big Red, thank you for the $2. Thank you very much. To interrupt his dumbass take, so thank you very much. Trey as well, thank you for the $5. 3 different times. Thank you so much for the $15. Thank you. Irene with the $5 and Trey again with the 5. Joseph, thank you for the 5. Laugh Out Leslie with the 5. Eamon, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5 as well. And I think I'm fully caught up. Alrighty. Go back to what you were saying then.
Alrighty. I wasn't saying anything. You were on ranting and raving and stuff like that, so I was just waiting for you, bro.
Oh, well, Deja, thank you so much for the $11.11. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I guess it just depends on the day. I only can do so whenever I have free time. But yeah, go ahead and make your point. Go back to it.
I wasn't making a point. You were. Come on, big dog.
Yeah, you understand that we were both making points, right?
No, I was laughing at you and stuff like that while my wife got home. And then you were muting me, and then you're like, I'm going to wait for him to get off mute, and while I do, I'm going to thank some of my supporters.
Yeah. Yeah, we all know that you don't have an argument here.
About?
Yeah, your whole thing here was just being misogynistic towards women, was being like, oh, you're a woman, you're acting like a woman, right, in order to be able to try to dispute what I'm saying, right, which, by the way, not only is an ad hominem, but also is misogynistic, and you couldn't acknowledge that it was misogynistic. And by the way, how would your wife feel about the fact that you used woman as an insult?
Hold on.
Is he going to ask his wife? Dude, that's crazy, bro. That's just crazy. Alexis, thank you so much for the $6.68 for He's a Joke. I know, right? He's such a joke.
All right, here you go, big dog.
What is the question? I'm so confused.
He wants to know about how you feel about me calling him a female or acting like a female and then calling him a bitch. Is that misogynistic? Do I hate women?
Yeah, for saying that women are the B word? Yeah.
That women are the B word, it would be the same as me saying he's acting like a dick. Right?
No, it wouldn't, because of how the B word has historically been used to disenfranchise women. But you can't say the same thing about the word dick as it relates to men.
Well, in my eyes, if I'm calling a dick, it's the fucking, you're being weak and you're being a fucking asshole. And
Yeah.
I called him a dick plenty of times. Why would that not be any better?
Because there's no history of that term being used against men to disenfranchise them. But there is a history of the B word specifically being used from men against women to disenfranchise them.
So when I see my friends that are a girl, I'm like, hey, what's up, bitch?
Well,
and I love them dearly.
but you're not a man, right? So you're not perpetuating the. You understand the difference between that's like for
it
example.
Does not make a difference.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. That's like someone who's black using the N-word. Okay, it's not wrong for someone who's black to use the N-word, but it is wrong for a white person to say the N-word. Do you agree?
No, actually I don't.
You don't agree that it's wrong for a white person to say the N-word?
No.
Wow.
It's just
Okay.
like,
So I mean, that's who I'm dealing with, by the way. So of course you don't think that it's wrong to use the B word against women because you think it's okay for white people to use the N
I
word.
did not say the word is okay. I'm saying it doesn't make a difference between a white and a black person to use it.
It absolutely
the N-word is
does.
not okay.
It absolutely does because the word has been historically used by white people to disenfranchise people who are black. So if people who are black are literally just if people let me please explain. Let me please explain. So if people who are black are
don't let the women talk. Got it.
Yeah, right. See, exactly.
which by the way, I was still finishing my statement. You want to make your point? Go for it.
No, she's done talking to you because again, just like even me, you cut even women off that talk about being misogynistic, right? How crazy is that? You
So
can't even let the
he thinks it's
female,
misogynistic to interrupt a woman? That's not misogynistic.
It's not misogynistic. It's not misogynistic to interrupt a female while she's speaking.
No.
That's crazy, is it not?
No.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's not.
But if I call you a bitch and I'm not even talking to a female, then I'm misogynistic, right?
But you were trying to
See how
associate.
fucking
You said specifically that I'm a woman as an insult, and then said I was a woman because I was acting like the B word. So you were saying women are the B word. Why is he purposefully trying to misrepresent what I'm saying? All you can do on my live stream is straw man my positions, purposefully misrepresent them to try to argue against those other positions because you can't intellectually engage with anything that I'm actually saying. And by the way, your wife just came up here to justify white people using the N-word. So that's not a own. That's not a win on your behalf. Your wife literally thinks it's okay for white people to use the N-word. So that's quite literally racism. Your wife thinks it's okay for white people to be racist. That's what she just said. And by the way, you're completely okay with that. You think that that's a W. So unmute yourself, click the microphone on the bottom right.
So that's classic because it's going to be on YouTube, just like you've lied, 2-3 times earlier about you cutting me off. I literally listened to her saying, in pretty much, I would call it yelling on the mic, saying it's not okay for anybody to use. So
no, she never said that it wasn't okay for. Wait, hold up. She was saying that.
I was right there.
Actually, wait, no, she was saying that it's viewed the same.
She was saying that, you misogynistic piece of shit. Now you're.
That's not me being misogynistic. She was saying.
You're trying to twist words, bro.
No, I'm not. She was saying it's the same that if a white person uses it comparative to a black person using it.
Dramatically.
Yeah, see right there. She just said.
So does she think it's wrong for black people to use the N-word?
Yes, she does. She thinks nobody should use that word.
Does she think no one should use the B slur?
Do you think nobody should use the B slur?
B-I-T-C.
Yeah, it's a slur. Yeah. You know
so I don't know what the comparison was there. I was saying I was simply making the distinction that specifically someone who's a member of that particular community that's disenfranchised by the term, taking back that term, right, is different than specifically the people of a group that particularly is perpetuating this, right, is going to be the same in terms of the usage. That's ridiculous.
So you think people of that kind can say the word that pertains to them, correct?
Yeah, I think only black people would be justified in using the N-word.
Nobody can say bitch. Nobody can say bitch because it pertains to a female dog. So nobody can say that word, right?
I think it's wrong for men to.
You are.
Listen, I think it's wrong for men to use that term towards women. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
is that complicated?
Yeah, it is because you said that you can't use that word if it doesn't pertain to you. So what?
Yeah, because historically that word has been used by men to oppress women.
So using the word bitch, I'm oppressing you.
Yeah. Yes. Right? Using it towards women is oppressive to women. Yes.
But I'm using that towards you because you can even go back in the clip, and I'll go back.
You specifically said I was a woman to insult me, and then said because you said the reason why I was a woman was because I was acting like a B word. So you literally were saying. Yeah. The reason why I was a woman was because I was acting like a B word. That's quite literally saying woman equal B word. That's what you're saying. Apparently you're not smart enough to understand that?
No. I called you a female because you were whining and complaining like they usually do.
So by the way, your wife is completely okay with you referring to her that way. Your wife is completely okay with that, by the way.
I don't call her a female.
Like that's
I call her my
embarrassing. That's like
lady.
actually fucking embarrassing.
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
imagine saying something like that about my fucking significant
lazy
other
guy's going
on a live
crazy.
stream in front of thousands of people. The fact that you
You're
view
lazy.
your wife that way is sick and upsetting and
guy.
disgusting, dude. Like that's actually so embarrassing. You get off on
Jesus
embarrassing
Christ,
your
it's
significant
bad,
other in
brother.
front of thousands of people?
I know that you already had surgery on your lazy eye, but you might want to get that fixed again.
I never had surgery on my lazy eye.
Well, you might want to, because holy cow. Bro, you're getting
Was that
all
supposed to be an
fucking
own?
hot.
Was that supposed to be an own? Turn your camera on.
Yeah, I'm going to turn my camera on.
Yeah, turn your camera on. You just tried to make fun of me for having a lazy eye. Turn your camera on.
Yeah,
You're scared you're going to get mauled to death, my guy.
Parker, you weigh 120 pounds soaking wet. What are you talking about?
Would you turn your camera on? Say it to my face. Say it to my face, you coward.
Okay, well, where are you going to
Turn your camera on, you coward.
Oh, but you're scared to get...
Turn your camera on, you coward. Are you scared? Say it to my
you're
face.
Scared.
Say it to
Tell
my
me
face.
where you're going to be at next.
Say it to my
Tell me where
face.
you're going to be at next, and I will.
Say it to my face. You're scared of getting mogged to death, my guy.
Yeah, Mog. I'll say it to your face when we have a debate
so
in
do
person.
it.
I'll show up and I'll
So
talk
do
to
it.
you
I would
in
never get within a fucking 1,000 miles of you. Okay? So say it to my face. Turn your camera on and say it to my face.
Really? Because I'm going to be with
Are you a coward? Are you a
month.
coward? Wait, I think you're admitting to being a coward right
I'll
now.
be in LA.
I think you're admitting to being a coward right now. That's what you're doing. Turn
I'll be
the
in
camera
LA
on, you
next month.
coward.
You're close to LA.
I'm just gonna mute you. Turn the camera on.
Oh.
Stop being a coward. Stop being a coward, my guy. Can you turn the camera on? I don't know why you're so scared. He's honestly so terrified, Chad. This is hilarious, dude. Well, I'm gonna do this until he turns his camera on. Catherine, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, these people are fucking insane. These people are fucking crazy. These people are crazy. As well as Joe, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, I should have asked that. That would have been a great question. Mike, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That one.
As well as Trey, thank you for the $5 as well.
Turn your camera on.
Turn your camera on. You're scared. Why won't you say it to my face? You just tried to make fun of me for having a lazy eye, but you're too scared to turn your camera on. Because you know you'll get mogged to death, my guy. Gidget, thank you so much for the sheep. Turn your camera on.
You don't have a normal one.
Turn your camera on.
It's just what...
You're scared.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, someone's saying in the comment section, no face, no case. No face, no case. You can't make a whole thing here specifically.
Exactly. My point exactly.
Yeah, if you are unwilling to show your face on the stream,
no face, no case.
How are you going to sit here and call me weak when you won't turn your fucking camera on? You weak coward. You're such a weak man. Weak men support Trump. Weak men defend rapists. Weak men defend pedophiles. Weak men defend people who are protecting pedophiles.
You're getting mad. Come on,
Weak men support men that sexualize their kids. You're a weak man by every fucking definition of the term. When you call me a woman, that's simply just you projecting the insecurities that you have about your own fucking masculinity and how you lack it. You're a weak man. You're a coward. You are unwilling to turn your camera on right now and actually say it to my face. You're unwilling to put your face behind what you're saying because what you're saying is absurd and you won't put your face behind it. Do it. Fucking do it. You're so scared. You're so terrified. If you can sit up here and keyboard warrior all you can behind the camera, but you can't say it in front of the camera, that tells me you're a weak little man. You're a coward. You're a little guy. Turn your camera on. Stop being a coward. Look at him running away, chat. Look at him running away. Look at him running away. This guy's ridiculous. What a weak coward, actually. He ran away. He ran away. Barbie, thank you so much for the $25. Thank you very much. He is such a coward, isn't he? He just ran away like the little coward he is. It is so absurd. Let's go on to the next person. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, as always. We had a runner on our hands, actually. He was running like crazy, actually. So scared to turn his camera on, actually. Yo, how old are you?
I'm 19.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Election out today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Absolutely Donald Trump.
And what's your birth year?
2007.
Okay, and what state do you live in?
New York.
What time is it?
10:43.
Can you name 2 states that border New York?
Newfoundland and Michigan.
Oh my gosh, dude. Whoa. Whoa, that's a new one. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
19.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your birth year?
2003.
Think about how much time they wasted just to do that. That's so diabolical. Imagine. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
19.
Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir. Can you
Election
think
out
the
today,
guest
Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, and what's your birth year?
2006.
What month?
September.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
Can you give me literally just 2 minutes, thank guess, or something? Please, just 2 minutes?
Why?
I'll be back. I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Alrighty. I guess we have to wait 2 minutes for this guy to go to the bathroom. Should we just kick him? That'd be really funny. That would be pretty funny.
I'm back. I'm joking. I don't need to. I had to get my phone charger.
Okay. All right. Why do you support Trump?
It's not that I support him, but if I had to vote, it would be for him. It's not necessarily direct support for him. It's still support for the party and how I believe in that party over, the left.
Okay, but why?
There's a couple reasons. I mean, the way you guys treat people. That's one. The thing in Iran, I think, is I think it's justified, and I can get into that with you. It can be argued to be justified, at least. And I don't really want to talk about abortion as a man. I don't think I should talk about that without a woman here. But that's another reason
But you support Trump, who actively restricted women's access to abortion?
I already said I don't support him.
But you just said you would vote for him over Harris.
I do. I would.
So then how can you say that, but you don't want to speak on abortion because you're not a woman? But then you're totally okay voting for Trump over a woman that wanted to protect women's access to abortion.
No, I don't know. Because last time I was on Santana's Live, he brought up like 10 women to talk about it, and I don't want to get into that because, I don't know.
Because you got cooked?
I'd rather... No, because I had to leave because he was being disrespectful as hell, and he called Jesus Christ a cuck. That's just who you guys are. No, it's fine. It's
Wait,
hilarious.
that's low-key kind of facts, dude.
It's hilarious. Yeah,
The only dispute you could make is that he doesn't get sexual arousal off of it.
You're weird. That's just odd. It's just strange. Literally.
I mean, he
weird.
sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've done bad or good, right? Because he knows everything you do.
You're weird. You just know that.
How? I'm just telling you specifically what is entailed by the worldview. That is,
song's
he
about
knows that
Santa Claus.
he knows that you're having sex. He's watching it.
That song's about Santa Claus.
I know, but it's based upon the things that Jesus can do, right? That's the point.
It's still weird to say.
Okay, but do you know the point I'm making?
I understand what you're trying to say, but it's still weird, and you know it's weird. You know it.
He knows when you fornicate, my guy. He knows when you're having sex. He's watching.
See, you're weird.
How am I weird? He's the one watching me.
She's yeah. Do you want to get into the debate or what?
Yeah, we can, dude. So what about the way that I treat people, man? Because you're willing to support Trump and vote for Trump over Harris, but by the way, isn't Harris more respectful than Trump?
Yeah.
So how can it be based on the way that I treat people? Are you just mad that I dog walk people in debates? Is that what it is?
Furious.
I know, it sounds like it.
Anyway, you want to?
Are you just trolling up here? Or?
No.
Okay, so tell me why you actually support Trump.
I said the war in Iran is, I think, something we could start off.
I think the corgi. Okay. Why do you think the war with Iran was justified?
Look what they were doing to the people in the streets. They were protesting for help, and we gave them help to try to overthrow their government, which we have succeeded in, really close. And did the gas prices go up? Yes. Did we claim no new wars? Yes. But at the end of the day, I think it was justified, and I think it was coming. It had to come.
It did not have to come, and also we're nowhere near overthrowing their entire government. Nowhere near that.
We took out like most of their top leaders.
Okay, but they have the same regime in office. It's the Ayatollah's son that's more radicalized.
Yeah, his son that is in literal hiding, can't show his face, can't say where he is.
But he already did that prior.
Okay, and I think if we can successfully overthrow it, we can do something like what we did to Japan in World War I and Germany, to where we build them up, we defeat them, and then build them up as an ally. And I think that can be very beneficial to us in the Middle East.
I see no evidence that we're going to do that. Actually, U.S. military intervention in the Middle East has led to worse off conditions. You could say Japan led to those conditions, but we involved ourselves in Iran in 1953, and it's led to radical Islam being prevalent within the country because of the fact that they put the Shah in, and which led to the Iranian Revolution.
Okay,
which then the radical individuals took advantage of the fact that there was a revolution, took power, and has been in power since. So the point that we're making is that we've actually created these worse off conditions since since the U.S. military intervention has happened in the Middle East. If we've seen historically that it's led to worse off conditions, not only within Iran but throughout the context of the Middle East, why would we continue to think that military intervention within the Middle East is preferable for creating better conditions?
Look what they were doing to their own people. That's terrible. That's awful.
So is it moral, or is it because you want regime change? Wait, is it regime change, or is it because of what they were doing to their people? It's both. Okay. So then, couldn't you say that? Do you support the Iraq War?
I don't know. I haven't done much research into it.
But Saddam Hussein killed more people.
Yeah.
So then you would think the Iraq War is justified.
Can't give you a definite. I mean, yeah, by my logic, yes. Yeah, sure.
Oh, push the motorcycle. But we saw. Didn't Trump claim that it was a failure?
Dude, I've done no research into that. I was so young when it happened. I'm 19.
Okay, well, then maybe you shouldn't make a determination on foreign policy as a whole because you're too young then, under your own view.
That doesn't make sense.
I was saying under your own view, not my view.
Okay. Not under my view. I'm talking about this.
Okay, so you are old enough to make a determination, so make one.
I haven't done research into it. I would need to do research. More research.
Have you done research into like how effective it's been historically regime change?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just gave you 2 examples.
How effective has it been in the Middle East?
It's been effective in some cases.
The last time it was effective was when?
I mean, can't give you an exact date of that, but I know that it's happened with Germany and Japan and South Korea.
So you have to reach back to almost 100 years ago?
As huge ally. Dude. It probably has happened more recently than that. Those are just big indicator examples.
I understand, but like what you're not understanding is that there were different conditions, right, within those particular countries. For example, with Germany. For example, with Germany, there was democracy prior to Hitler's takeover. There was conditions that existed prior to his takeover that allowed for a transfer back to those conditions once the Nazi regime was taken out. Whereas, since there's been so much time in between the original existence of a democratically elected government in 1953 versus now, there's not going to be that same capacity because there's been generational change over those time periods. Whereas we were talking about the same generation prior that had access to democracy, knew what it was, had and fully had access to that through the context of the German government at the time versus it being taken over by the Nazis because of specifically the bad conditions. So really what got them out of that was that we could create good conditions and then facilitate them out of that. And then also the fact that East Germany was bad, which was facilitating people to go to West Germany as well.
Okay. Well, the common denominator is you have a corrupt government that is doing terrible things to their own people. It's leading the world their country into a terrible place, and the United States came in, defeated them, built them up as an ally into a great country, a civilized country, a peaceful country. And I hope that's what we can do here, because the people, you were just getting on that last guy for disrespecting women, and I'm not going to, I mean, but in Iran, it's okay if they just straight up end them.
Dude, I understand the IRGC is oppressive. I agree with you. I don't think because there's oppression happening in other countries, that means the U.S. needs to militarily intervene, because then we're going to be intervening in almost every other country around the world.
Not necessarily.
I don't think we should be the world police. Also, how'd that work in Afghanistan?
Didn't work too well.
Yeah, and who's in control in Afghanistan now? The Taliban. Yeah, so that hasn't worked very well. I don't understand why we would do this again after we saw that it didn't work. Again,
one's a terrorist group, one's a regime.
But you understand that you think that the Iranian regime is a terrorist group, right?
I mean, by definition, they're not, but I think they're close enough to it.
Okay, can you define terrorist group?
Well, I think it's not government affiliated. Like, they're just a group.
So the only dispute is government affiliated. So do you think the Taliban?
Yeah.
Do you think the Taliban's a terrorist group?
Yeah.
Do they currently control the government within Afghanistan?
No.
Yes, they do. The Taliban controls the government within Afghanistan? Yes.
Completely.
Yes.
All right.
So under your view, you think that the Taliban is not a terrorist group?
They are.
Okay. So a terrorist group, so a governmental entity can be a terrorist group.
If the Taliban is in charge, and
they are,
then I guess but I did say.
Okay, so then your whole dispute there that it's not a terrorist group under your own view doesn't make any sense. So I don't understand what your argument is there.
I mean, at the end, I said, not by definition, but I guess my definition is wrong. So I'll give you that. But I said they pretty much are. The Iranian government pretty much is, yeah.
Okay, so you think that they are. So then what's the dispute? Because your whole dispute for why you treated it differently than Afghanistan was that the IRGC is not a terrorist group. But you do consider it to be a terrorist group.
They are. I said by definition they're not, but I think they are.
Okay, that's incoherent.
Okay, well, whatever.
Because by your definition, they are. But it's okay.
I just gave up my definition. Yeah.
If you consider it to be that way, then under your definition, it is.
I do think by the definition you gave me, and since you told me about the Taliban. The control of Afghanistan. Yeah. I Then if that's the case, the Iranian government is, I think they are. I think, 100% they are.
Okay. Alrighty. So then why do you support Trump still?
The war in Iran. Abortion.
Yeah, but didn't we just go over that and how there's not really any better conditions that we've created by engaging in this war with Iran?
Yeah, we have. There's being less people on the streets getting absolutely offed. They were protesting, and we sent signs.
I understand, but we don't just involve ourselves in every country around the world where there's something bad that's happening.
That's worse than bad.
Okay. Well, then, do you think that we should have involved ourselves in Sudan?
You can make the argument.
Okay. Well, I think that there's a better argument to involve ourselves in Sudan based on that argument because there are atrocities happening there. Right?
Yeah,
like the UAE was funding insurgent groups to go in and slaughter Sudanese people.
Iran was building nukes as well.
What's that?
Iran was building nukes as well.
Okay. So you understand that that's because of the fact that Trump pulled out of the JCPOA, right?
No matter the cause. You know what would happen if Iran had a nuke, right?
You know that they were at 3.67% enrichment of uranium prior to the pull-out of the JCPOA, and they're at 60% now.
Even if it is Trump's fault.
It is.
They still can't have a nuclear weapon. You understand that, right?
Okay. And you could prevent that like how they already did prior? Like the Operation So let me just clarify. The Operation Midnight Hammer, what they did, I'm pretty sure it was called Midnight Hammer. That didn't necessitate war. Like they all that responded in that context was they had some response where they told us they were going to strike us, and that was it. So that didn't indicate war. War began when Trump started it, specifically when he decided to send the U.S. into a long-term conflict with them at the end of February. That's when the war started.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think if we could overthrow their regime, and we've been doing very good. We've been succeeding in Trump's goal for.
You're saying we can overthrow the regime. What evidence do you have of that?
The fact that we've already took out so many top leaders, and we've.
I don't think that's sufficient evidence or proof because the same regime is still in office. Secondly, can I ask you a question? Would you enlist?
I might, yeah.
Why not? Why won't you do it right now?
It's on my mind.
So go ahead.
Like you.
Would you go to the front lines?
That, my entire family, my grandpa was a colonel in the Vietnam War. I think I'm going to enlist, actually.
Okay, so what's stopping you from doing it right now? We want you on the front lines. You support the war, send you to the front lines.
Okay. It's a consideration.
Infantry front lines?
No, I don't know if I don't think it'd be infantry.
Why not?
I mean, it's just there's better options for me. I might join the service though.
Okay. Well, I just think it's like if you're not willing to go boots on the ground for an offensive conflict that you support, then why do you